Hey, it's me. Call me when you can.
Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. If I should die before I wake, it's 'cause you took my breath away. Losing you is like living in a world with no air. Oh,
I'm here alone, didn't wanna leave. My heart will move, it's incomplete. 'Cause there was a way that I could make you understand.
but how do you expect me to live alone with just me? 'Cause my world revolves around you, it's so hard for me to breathe. Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. Can't live, can't breathe with no air. It's how I feel whenever you ain't there. It's no air, no air. Got me out here in the water so deep. Tell me I ain't gon' be without me. If you ain't here, I just can't breathe. There's no air, no air. No air, oh, no air, no, no air, oh, no air.
I walked, I ran, I jumped, I flew right off the ground to flow to you. There's no gravity to hold me down for real.
But somehow I'm still alive inside. You took my breath, but I survived. I don't know how, but I don't even care. So how do you expect me to live alone with just me? 'Cause my world revolves around you, it's so hard for me to breathe. Tell me how I'm supposed to be with no air. Can't live with no air. It's how I feel whenever you ain't there. It's no air, no air. Me out here in the water so deep. Tell me I ain't gon' be without me. If you ain't here, I just can't breathe. No air, no air. Oh, no air, no air, no Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. Can't breathe with no air. Whenever you ain't there, breathing, breathing. Me out here in the water so deep. Tell me I ain't gon' be without me. Can't be with you, breathe. So hard for me to breathe. Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. Can't breathe with no air. So whenever you ain't there, no air. Got me out here in the water so deep.
Tell me how you gon' be without me.
If you ain't here, I just can't breathe. There's no air, no air. Oh, no air. No air. No air.
I'm so glad that I met you, baby. And I'm so proud when we walk down the street. And I know it's crazy to worry like I do, but I get this feeling feeling that I'm losing you. I get these suspicions, even though I know that you love me, baby, and I really shouldn't feel this way. Suspicion, I can't help it, you're just so good looking. I'm afraid somebody's gonna steal you away from me. When I go out to a party with you, you always turn every head in the room, and I just know what's on every man's mind. I try to fight it, but it gets me sometimes. I get these suspicions, even though I know that you love me, baby, and I really shouldn't feel this way. Suspicion, I can't help it, you're just so good looking. I'm afraid somebody's gonna steal you away from me. Me when you lay by my side, and that look you get in your eyes when you lie, it makes me hate myself for what I'm thinking of. I get these suspicions, even though I know that you love me, baby, and I really shouldn't feel this way. Suspicions, I can't help it, you're just so good looking. I'm afraid somebody's gonna steal you away from me. Suspicions, even though I know that you love me, baby, and I really shouldn't feel this way. Suspicions, I can't help it, you're just so good. I'm afraid somebody's gonna steal you away from me. Suspicion, even though I know that you love me, and I really shouldn't feel not my brand, you understand. Sometimes the girl forgets. She forgets to hide them. I know who left those smokes behind. She'll say, oh, he's just a friend. And I'll say, oh, I'm not blind to him. What's she gonna do about him? She's gonna have to do without him, or do without me. No one gets to get it for free. It's me or it's him. Don't know what he looks like. Don't know who he is. Don't know why she thought that I would say what's mine is his. I don't want to own her, but I can't let her have it both ways. Three is one too many of us. She leaves with me or stays with him. What's she gonna do about him? She's gonna have to do without him, or do without me. No one gets to get it for free. It's me or it's him. If she wants him, she can have him. Just exactly how we once were. It's goodbye to he and I, back to me and her. Without him, what's she gonna do about him? She's gonna have to do without him, or do without me. No one gets to get it for free. Time for me to make the girl see. It's me or it's him. What is she gonna do about him? She's gonna have to do without him, or do without me. No one gets to get it for free. Time for me to make the girl see. It's me or it's him.
Been forever since I've been gone. Haven't held you in so long. Miss you more than words can say. Guess we got a little off track, but love knows a way back through the storms and pouring rain. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. it's okay to let them go. Yesterday's all forgotten, and today we start rocking somewhere underneath the rainbow. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh yeah. Bring it back. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Bring it back. Bring it back. Oh, bring back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Bring it back. It's your life. You say you need a change. Don't all the dreams we've seen come true mean anything? You say it's different now. You keep staring at the door. Well, how can you walk away? Don't I matter anymore? If being free's worth what you leave behind, and if it's too late for love to change your mind, it's goodbye time. If we had known our love would come to this, we could have saved our hearts of hurt, of wasted years. Oh, well, it's been fun. What else can I say? If the feeling's gone, words won't stop you anyway. If being free's worth what you leave behind,
it's too late for love to change your mind. And it's goodbye time. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Your Heavenly Father is waiting with open arms. He loves you. Let this song bless you tonight.
Almighty God, the great I am, immovable rock, omnipotent, powerful, awesome Lord, victorious warrior, commanding King of kings, mighty conqueror, and the only time I ever saw him run was when he ran to me. He took me in his arms, held my head to his chest, said, "My son's come home again," lifted my face, wiped the tears from my eyes, with forgiveness in his voice. He said, "Son, do you know I still love you?" He caught me by surprise when God ran. The day I left home, I knew I'd broken his heart. I wondered then if things would ever be the same. Then one night I remembered his love for me. Down a dusty road ahead I could see it was the only time. It was the only time I ever saw him run. Was when he ran to me. He took me in his arms, held my head to his chest, said, "My son's come home again," lifted my face, wiped the tears from my eyes, with forgiveness in his voice. He said, "Son, do you know I still love you?" He caught me by surprise. Then he brought me to my knees when God ran. I saw him run to me. I was so ashamed, all alone and so far away. But now I know that he's been waiting for this day. When God ran to me, he took me in his arms, held my head to his chest, and said, "My son's come home again," lifted my face, wiped the tears from my eyes, with forgiveness in his voice. I felt his love for me again. He ran to me. He took me in his arms, held my head to his chest, and said, "My son's come home again," lifted my face, wiped the tears from my eyes, with forgiveness in his voice. He said, "Son, my God called me son." He ran to me. He ran to me. He
WOOP On Wheels is proud to be sponsored by the Gondolier, for all your Italian and Greek specialties, as well as the best pizza in town. Gondolier locations are at Ocoee, 1603 Highway 64, Benton, Tennessee. That phone number, 338-7299. Stop in and see the fine folks at the Ocoee Gondolier. And if you're in the Cleveland area, they're located at 3300 Keith Street, 472-4998. All items at Gondolier can be fixed for you to take home. Proud sponsors of WOOP On Wheels and the Gondolier.
Pizza Hut.
Can I really get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each?
You sure can. It's our new $6.99 any deal.
So a meat lovers and a chicken bacon and pineapple with barbecue sauce drizzle are only $6.99 each?
That's right. Any toppings.
How about a salami, sausage, jalapeno, black olive, and onion on honey sriracha thin crust?
$6.99.
Awesome. I'll take 2 medium pepperonis.
Okay.
You want it, you got it. Pizza Hut's new $6.99 any deal. Get 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any sauces, any crust flavors, and any specialty pizzas for $6.99 each.
Limited time offer excludes stuffed crust. Limit 1 crust flavor per pizza.
WOOP On Wheels is proud to be When Fast Eddie and Big G want to take in a little dirt track racing, it's a good bet they're going to stop in at Quick Burger on South Lee Highway. Quick Burger, Monday through Saturday, 10:30 to 6. Call-in orders are always welcome. That phone number is 472-0463. Stop in and see Ramel Dafford and her crew, Brenda, Rob, Ryan, Ashley, Dawn, and Betty, for the best burger in town. An extensive menu, plate specials, chicken sandwiches, and the best hot dog as well. Check in with Quick Burger on South Lee Highway.
The new Hardee's Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger. It's not for everyone. If you flinch when sizzling fire-roasted fajita veggies pass your table, it's not for you. It's not for you if the heat of pepper jack cheese once gave your mouth a boo-boo. But if fire-roasted peppers and onions and bacon on Black Angus beef makes you want to take a massive bite while straddling the Texas-Mexico border, it's for you. Introducing the Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger at Hardee's for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When the WOOP On Wheels crew gets back from a long weekend spent in the infield in Talladega, their first stop in town is Surf's Up Car Wash. Surf's Up, 2575 Guthrie Street Northwest, located next to Cleveland Utilities, 790-5793. Surf's Up Car Wash, voted Cleveland's best 3 years in a row. Stop by and see Mike Royval and his gang at Surf's Up. For all your pet grooming needs, see the staff at Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Happy Tails, located at 2251 North Ocoee Street. Business hours are Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday, 9 to 5:30. For your appointment, call 339-5777. A full-service professional groomer. Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Come shaggy, leave happy. When you're in the mood for frozen yogurt, come to Cleveland's Original, Perkins, 3506 Keith Street Northwest, located in the same plaza as Gondolier. Perkins Yogurt. Come see Roger Turpin at Perkins, 476-1668. Perkins Yogurt. Often imitated, never duplicated. When Big G and Fast Eddie need to make a pit stop for lunch, they head to Quiznos. Stop in and see Roger Patel and his crew at Quiznos Sub, 2151 Keith Street. Phone number 473-7976. For all your box lunches and catering needs, stop in and see the folks at Quiznos Sub. Quiznos. Toasty.
All right, then we got L&B Appliance, 339-3231. Jason Taylor's the owner. They got great prices on all their top brands, the best selection of appliances and home furnishings. They're friendly, helpful, and knowledgeable salespeople there, professional installation and service. L&B carries a large selection of appliances there, refrigerators, cooktops, ovens, ranges, washers, and dryers. And the major brands are Amana, Electrolux, Frigidaire, Maytag, and Whirlpool. Stop in and check out Jason Taylor and L&B Appliance at 339-3231. They are located at 160 Durkee Road Northeast here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee.
All right, we got Heads Up Power Designs, Harmon Wilson at 60 Mouse Creek Road. If you want your hair done, you can frost it, cut it, do anything you want. I gotta go get mine whacked off here, and I think Fast Eddie done had his whacked off.
Yeah, it's time.
Oh, is it time for you too, huh?
No, for you.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, her address is 60 Mouse Creek Road. Phone number 476-5722. And when you call, ask for Carmen when you call.
Hey everybody, it's Wolfman Jack. And hey, sit down there in that chair right there. Turn the radio up. I don't care if you're in your car or where you are. Be careful, don't get no speeding tickets. Because you know what time it is? It's time for Whoop on Wheels with Fast Eddie and Big G. Right here on Whoop FM 99.9 and WhoopFM.com out there in the World Wide Web. Everybody's watching. Be careful, y'all. Come on, strap your babies in the car and hang on, because it's Fast Eddie and Big G right here with all your racing news right here on Whoop FM.
Okay, we got Fast Eddie, Big G, Bullet, and we got a special guest in the studio tonight, Christian Coley. He's out of Ottawa, Tennessee, and he's a rider for NASCAR, and we're going to find out about find out all about him like right now. Christian, how you doing?
I'm doing good tonight. How are you?
Good, and I'm glad I met you through
LinkedIn.
That's it. Yep. That's a good way to. It's a good way
to spread out your work, get it to other people, make sure other people. There's a lot of business people that will see my work. I have a bunch of followers like Michael Levine with Levine Family Racing. I got Rob Street, who's a photographer out of Las Vegas. I got numerous people following me on there.
Yeah, and that's a good way to. That's how I got to meet you.
Yeah.
And we met a guy with Stewart Haas Racing last week. We had on the show. We're going to have Nelson Gill out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, on at 7:30 tonight. He's going to talk about torque converters. Yeah, he makes those things. Going to be, and then we're going to have Morgan Shepherd at 7. Then Nelson Gill at 7:30. We're going to have Jarrett Andretti. That's John Andretti's son. Will be on at 8 o'clock, and Micah Freo. You said you knowed Mike.
Yep.
He's a good guy.
Very good guy. Good racer.
Yeah, and we're going to ask him about him and the deal with Joanna Long, too, what happened there. I don't hope it ain't a touchy situation with him, but I think I seen a post where he said that she wanted to be with RCR.
Yep.
More power, and, you know.
There's a lot more funding at RCR than there is at Minecraft Rondo.
Right. You can only do what you can.
Yep.
What do you do for NASCAR?
Well, I write numerous stories. I do during the season. I do race recaps and numerous things. During the off season so far, we've done a couple of track spotlights, a couple of out of the overgrowths, which we did a story on Nashville Super Speedway and what it looks like now. And it's not as rough as some of the other tracks, but it would be a good track to see return. And I know that one got a lot of views.
Yeah, I wish that track would start back up. I've been to races there.
It's very grown up around it. They've got a brand new parking lot that kind of weird for an abandoned track, but there's 2 cars sitting there when we went there. It was a pretty popular story on our blog, and numerous people like to hear about it because it's one of the tracks that not many people have covered. I know one of my friends said that it was not really a track that nobody could cover because they're not from Tennessee, and I was up in Nashville for wrestling a couple weeks ago, and
What, WCW?
WWE.
WWE. I don't know why I'm saying WCW, but how'd that go? Pretty good?
Went pretty well. We were supposed to sit up.
We're gonna go off of the race in a minute and go to wrestling.
Yeah.
And every now and then we hit that too. Was it Roman Reigns up there?
Yes, it was Roman Reigns. We were supposed to sit up in the nosebleeds, and production issues moved us down to the TV side on the other side of where the cameras were, and pretty neat.
Christian, can you help us get some wrestlers to call in? Like,
I don't know very many wrestlers.
I don't either. I'm having I've sent Vince McMahon emails,
well, he was
Stephanie McMahon emails.
Well, they both weren't very happy last night on Raw. I know that much.
No, they weren't.
I don't know why they were so mad.
Vince went to sleep.
Yeah, Vince did go to sleep.
He took a nap.
He missed a very good match.
Yeah, he took a nap, all right. Didn't he, Big G?
What I seen he did.
Big G's been involved in wrestling.
But I've watched wrestling for a couple years now, and I just now like I said, I went to WrestleMania in Atlanta a couple years ago. I went to Royal Rumble in Atlanta. I've done numerous things with wrestling. I've never really got on the media side. I know if NASCAR doesn't go through, I'll possibly jump over to either WWE or minor league baseball.
Have you done any writing for wrestling?
Very little.
Very little.
There's going to be one in Chattanooga in a month.
January 30th.
WWE's going to be down there, I think.
UTC.
Kane's going to be wrestling.
Kane.
I forgot who's going to wrestle. Anyway, they're going to be down there. I'm gonna try to go.
Kane, the Tennessee politician.
Yeah, Kane. He's the.
That's right. Kane's from Knoxville.
Yeah, he's from Knoxville. He's running for. I think he's running for Senate. I think that'd be a good fit. Anybody vetoes his bills, give him a little choke slam through the table, they might follow his rules.
Or he'll put him on fire.
Yeah, light him on fire.
Yeah.
That's the Undertaker. That's the Undertaker. Ain't
No, that's Kane. He does the fire thing.
Yeah.
Kane does the fire thing. Undertaker just buries him for you.
Undertaker does the casket thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Very.
I'm gonna try to get on Fast Stadium, but they won't go here in January. Yeah,
Where's it at?
The Roundhouse.
Tickets start from $15 up.
That ain't bad.
Good quality entertainment. Fun for the whole family.
Oh, yeah. Me and Big G's been there before. Ringside.
My goodness.
I sat third row a couple years ago, and I sat ringside 10, 11
Ringside front row.
Yeah.
But that's expensive.
There's zero, wasn't it?
Mine was free because I won a contest.
I've been in the ring, so I don't have to say
Yeah,
much.
he don't have to sit there. He's been in the ring. Yeah.
Been a manager of Terry Gordy once.
Terry Gordy was he was a big guy there for a while. Passed away on us.
That wrestling's something else. I mean, it's all script.
Yeah, it's all script.
It's all script.
It's good entertainment.
But I love it.
A lot of people do.
Sometimes they do get hurt, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
I thought Triple H got hurt after Sunday's deal.
Triple H, he got speared.
He got speared, got this, got that. And he took one bump that I didn't think was really scripted.
You see old Stephanie slapping Roman Reigns last night?
Oh, yeah, she slapped
corner of his mouth,
teeth out.
Corner of his mouth was bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, oh, boy.
But like
she gave him about 6 slaps in the face. That her flying back.
Numerous, one after another.
And she started to leave. She started leaving, and she said one more thing. Then she slapped him again.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And he didn't do that. I thought he'd go for a throat.
He's something else.
She's one ugly woman.
Well, you know who's going to be after Triple H now, don't you? Triple H going to be after Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good match.
Well, let's get back on our racings here. You've wrote blogs for all the tracks or just certain ones? Or
Really all the tracks. I really followed the season as it goes. Like I started with Pocono. I had another blog that I had started out with Low Money Team Source, and it was based off the low money teams like Levine Family Racing and groups like that. And then
you ever done a blog on Morgan Shepherd, our next guest?
I don't think I have.
He's very low funded.
Very low funded, yeah.
Very low.
I think I met him a couple times in Bristol.
Nice man.
Very nice man. Very down to earth.
I have met him. Big G has never met the guy.
He's nice.
No, yeah. We went to eat at Top of the River at Talladega. Good place to eat. It's where most of the racers go.
Thanks for telling me that now. I know that now.
It's Top of the River. And we met the Allisons there, Donnie and Bobby.
I met Bobby and Donnie, and I met Justin. Justin, who is Donnie's son, I think.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Good in ARCA ranks.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Hadn't heard from him very recently, but we hope to see him make a triumphant return. And you're getting a lot of steam about Davey Allison's son starting to build his way up into NASCAR.
Yeah.
I think the future of NASCAR is looking very good right now. You got Chase Elliott out there, you got Jeffrey Earnhardt, you got a bunch of the younger generation, and you're going to have a lot of the older generation finding somebody to cheer for, a familiar name.
I think Bobby Dale's going to get in it too.
Telephone.
Bobby Dale Earnhardt. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Eddie, why don't you turn his microphone up where we can hear him?
I think it's up.
Can you hear me now?
Not real loud.
It's all the way up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
I actually met David Allison here back in, I think, 91. He was actually here in Cleveland.
Never been to the Cleveland Speedway over here. I've been to Boyd's a couple times.
Yeah, that's a nice place.
It is a nice place. I went there last year to see Austin Dillon and Ty race.
Yeah.
That's back when I had the low money team. But like I said, I built a person who bought Precision Motorsports. I'm trying to think of his name.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was the one that suggested that I start covering all of NASCAR. And I started doing that. And like I said, it's brought me, I've been to Bristol now. Bristol gave me a hot pass in August that I was able to cover the races inside. I got to do a couple things over the year. Like I said, I got to interview Ben Kennedy at Bristol. That was pretty neat. And you can go on my page and you can view that story. It'll be a little bit farther back, but we've had very much success as of late, and I'm hoping for more success over the future. Hoping somebody will find me and hopefully have me right for a high-name news source, or hopefully get this news source where it's pretty popular.
And you said you've met Bob Pockrass.
Yes, I met Bob.
SportingNews.com.
Met Bob Pockrass a couple weeks ago at Talladega. They had the tweet up, and I met him, gave him some business cards, and very nice guy. Not many of the writers have said anything about my work. There's been a couple of other people that said things about my work. There's a lady named Charmaine DeJaris or something like that. She works for Sam Bass, and she says it's the NASCAR media has been stale for too long, and we need new faces in NASCAR. And I mean, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but there's some people out there that are getting up there in age.
Have you met Clara B. Lane yet?
Yes, I did meet her at Bristol.
She's a nice lady.
Very nice lady. She's a very nice lady. My main goal with this is, like I said, this is my radio debut. I never spoke about NASCAR on the radio, and hopefully one day it'll land me on NASCAR XM radio.
Was now we know Daniel Norwood real well too.
Chris Knight's a pretty good friend of mine.
Now, when you're talking about Precision, was the guy local here?
No. Precision Motorsports purchased Viva Motorsports, which is Jamie Dick's team. And the guy that owns that now, I'm trying to think of his name.
Well, they were Precision here, and it used to be, but it was dirt track.
That's not Jay Robinson, is it?
No, it's not Jay Robinson. It's, I'm trying to think of the name. The guy's a very nice guy, and I feel bad not remembering his name, but if you're listening, I'd like to appreciate you for all the advice, and hope to write more about you in the near future with your son. I don't even remember your son's name. Or Jadovac, Rick Jadovac. Yeah? Yeah, that's the guy that gave me the advice to move on to the next, to broaden my horizons from just low money teams to the whole NASCAR. I said I've covered numerous things, including, like I said, I covered all the races. I covered the chase races, the very entertaining chase race at Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
Covered the Kansas race, Homestead. We covered that. We had our first annual NASCAR News Source Awards a couple weeks ago, where we asked the fans who they thought was the driver of the year and who they thought was this and that. Best paint scheme, which ended up being Brad Keselowski's Midnight theme from Bristol or from Martinsville, and that was Michigan. And that was a very popular paint scheme among the people. A lot of people like Casey Kane's paint scheme. We had the driver of the year for the most improved driver of the year in the Xfinity Series was drives 39 car Ryan Sieg. Yeah, he was the fans voted as him as the most improved. A lot of people viewed Joey Gase as very improved.
Gase is good. Yeah.
Gase is very good, nice guy. He's done a lot of work for my blog, shared a lot of my posts. The driver of the year in the Camping World Truck Series was Jordan Anderson, who drives the 74 truck.
Yeah.
He takes his truck from place to place and tries to make sure he gets there every week. Like I said, I got to talk to him in Bristol because I was talking to my friend with Fort Roush Yates engines, who I met back at Camp 95. I talked to Jordan Anderson. He's talking about it. Said it's so cool how one week you come in here and you finish 15th, next week you fail to qualify a race. This is, you got to enjoy the inner victories, and that's what I think a lot of the teams that are out there don't recognize, is that there's a lot of these teams out here, they'll celebrate 20th place victories.
Did you just tell me a while ago that you was at the track where Kyle Busch broke his foot?
Yes, I was at Daytona in February. I had bought tickets to go see it. I mean, this year's my 10 years in the making. I really high-profiled this year as the 10 years in the making deal, because it was 10 years ago I went to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first time, and 10 years later I'm sitting here in the radio station talking about NASCAR. It's very neat, because I was talking to my mom the other day about how cool it is that 10 years ago I didn't know very many people with NASCAR. And then 10 years later I know so many people. It's crazy. Like I said, in June I got invited to the first inaugural Camp 95 that Levine Family Racing put on, and I met a lot of cool people there. I met, like I said, I had met majority of Levine Family Racing before, and it really just restructured our friendship, and a lot of us are good friends, and I know I'll try my best to write good about them, make sure that people know who they are.
Yeah.
And I know they're trying to go full-time next year. They're trying to go full-time with Wood Brothers, and I want to really help them get there, because I think it'd be cool if I could travel with that team. Not with them, but I mean, be with them to profile how they're progressed from 2011 to this year. I think that'd be very neat. And I said I'm friends with a lot of people with Wood. I'm friends with a couple of people, the Wood Brothers. Friends with a lot of people in NASCAR.
Yeah. Now, Trevor Bain's from Knoxville.
I met Trevor Bain at the Camp 95 thing. It was the first time. It was like the second time I'd ever met him. Very nice guy. Very supportive of him. He didn't have a very good year this year, which not many of the Roush Fenway. But I think with this new rule package next year, they'll exceed over Hendrick Motorsports. I think, because in the races that we had the test run with this new package, they were outrunning majority of the Hendrick cars, along with Joe Gibbs and Team Penske. So I mean, I think Roush Fenway will really get better next year, and especially with their new alliance with Front Row Motorsports with Chris Buescher and whoever the other driver they will.
Doug Yates. Head engine builder there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ain't he?
Yep.
With Roush?
Yeah. Doug is.
Doug's the head of it. That was where they had the Camp 95 this year, because Levine's shop tragically lit a fire, and they ended up having to move it from the shop to Camp 95. I met a lot of people before.
Don't you remember, Gerald, when we went to Talladega and the Levines set us up with Michael McDowell there?
Yeah.
That's who it was, that 95 team.
Yeah.
That's his favorite driver, too.
Yeah, it's for a favorite driver, a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He's done a lot to help me out. I've tried my best to help him out. The whole Levine family, they've tried their hardest to help me out, to share my work. I know one of the stories I'd posted it a couple of days ago. I posted it, and I looked away for 1 minute, and it went to like 976 views. I was like, wow. That's impressive to see. And it was a story about how they're uncertain about their future, and I hope somebody viewed that blog, that post, and said, hey, that team's, we don't want to see somebody fall out because they don't have support or they don't have backing. I hope somebody views it and says, hey, let's go sponsor them. They're a good driver.
Can you give the listening audience here a way that they can view your blog?
You can connect to me on Facebook at Christian Coley. It'll be the one with the picture of my face, not the Bass Pro Shops 500. My Facebook's Christian Coley. My Twitter is at Coley Christian, at Koelle Christian. My LinkedIn account's Christian Coley. My blog address is www.thenascarnewssource.blogspot.com. And people can view me on there. I'm also on Pinterest, along with LinkedIn.
The NASCAR News what now?
Source, SOURCE, .blogspot.com.
Didn't Martin Truex used to drive the Bass Pro?
Yes.
I think it did.
Number one for DEI there a couple years. That's where he got his first win at Dover.
Yeah, I've put you on my end link, so when you'll see me.
A lot of people have. And if you want to connect to me, I'd greatly appreciate it. If you have any ideas for a story, email me. My email's on all the pages I just gave. I'm interested in more people's outlooks. I've got a couple of people who are going to do question and answers over the off season that I still got to set up. I've got Chris Knight. I'm going to try to interview him. Because the thing I notice with the people like that is they don't get the chance to talk about themselves. They talk about the other people. And I'd like to give them a chance to talk about themselves. That way people understand that the riders are an important way of how people learn different ways of NASCAR. And, I mean, that was the thing with the Camp 95 was the Camp 95 taught all of us. I think there was like 20 people there from all kinds
I just typed that in, and it says it doesn't exist. The NASCAR news source.
.blogspot.
I think he might have missed a word.
Yeah, I think he missed a word.
.blogspot.
Yeah.
SPOT. Right?
.com.
Okay, let me go back and do it. Go ahead, keep
Yeah, it's like spot.
Like Spot the dog.
So if I ever think of something, I can talk to you about it or
You
something.
can talk to me and email me. I'd love to hear from numerous fans. Like I said, I heard near the France tragedies when the stuff happened in France. I talked to one of the members who was actually at the concert hall when it happened, and I felt very bad for them. And it was just sad. And, I mean, it was cool to talk to somebody who was actually there and everything. And I mean, it was neat. But like I said, I've met a lot of people around the world. Like I said, I met some people from Singapore at Talladega. They were talking to me about how it was cool that we get to meet me finally, and they could talk about it. Said that my blog was really the only thing that they were able to get their NASCAR news out of, because NASCAR.com was not allowed in their neighborhood. So I thought that was pretty neat to be able to reach out to people of other countries. And the cool thing about Blogspot is it gives me opportunity to it gives me an opportunity to, they've got a translate option on there where I can hit Google Translate. If you're from another country, you can hit Google Translate. It will translate the whole blog into your own language. It makes it a lot easier for me to get a lot more foreign views.
That's great.
Now, Christian, is this your deal or yeah?
This is absolutely my deal. I'm the only one. The only thing on there that is different is the logo. And Jay Lopez, a friend of mine who works with Hamilton something racing, out of there's news they've just starting an ARCA team with Bobby Hamilton Jr. and he made my logo for me, and I thought it was really cool because I'd done some work with him in the past, and when we started getting popular, I decided I needed a logo, and I went to him first because, like I said, he's a good friend of mine, and he made me the logo and said it was free. Just be sure to give him credit. That's what I've got on there. And I've got it in access. You can go buy your Daytona 500 tickets. Trust me, you want to go to the Daytona 500. That's the biggest race of the year. If you do go, I suggest you go to the Budweiser Duels. It's now the Can-Am Duels this year. But if you get the opportunity to go to the Can-Am Duels, certainly do it. It's a blood circulating race. Like if you were a fan of like Michael McDowell last year, who was sitting on the outside looking in, and you make the race, it's an awesome feeling. You really forget about Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning the duel. And, I mean, it's a cool experience. The only thing I would have really liked it to be was about 20, 30, 45, 60 degrees warmer, because we actually had flurries in Daytona, and that don't happen.
Yeah, it was cold down there.
Oh, it was cold. Sunday it was warm, but the rest of the week it was cold.
That's why me and Fast Eddie, we used to go to Atlanta when they moved to Atlanta back in, I think September when they
put it Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. We used to go, but now since they moved it back, now it's in February.
Putting it in February is not a very good idea. I mean,
not here.
It gets too cold in February.
Actually snowed in Atlanta one time, too.
Well, it also rains too much.
It rains too much. And, I mean, Bristol, they got it good with the move from March to April, but I think it needs to be moved one more time.
But the thing about Bristol, though, it's self-cleaning track, and it don't take long to dry it.
No.
And so...
not many. I mean, with the new Air Titan systems, it makes it a lot easier for you to dry the tracks. I know Daytona in July, they dried that pretty quickly. Yeah, they got another shower and they dried it again. That was my problem with Phoenix, was that we had ways to dry the track. And I mean, I understand a lot of fans celebrated Junior winning the race, but I would have still liked to see the end of that race to see if Joe Logano or Carl Edwards could have made their way back into the chase, into the Final Four. And like I said, Joe Logano, who had 6 wins this year, didn't have a chance to win the championship.
But see, it's like a lot of states and a lot of towns has got a curfew that they have to cut that off.
Yeah, that I know. When I went to Bristol in 2013, when they had the rain delay in March, I know they worked with the Johnson City, city there, to work a deal out to have the curfew extended, so that way they could finish the race. That's really what I felt they should have done in Phoenix.
I think too.
Okay,
Charlotte's got it too.
Yes.
I can't believe it. But you got us on there.
Yes, I do.
I wouldn't have never believed that.
I had to make sure everybody that wanted to view and wanted to see what it was. I mean, it's a pretty big deal to me. I mean, it's pretty cool to make my radio debut. I'd like to do some more of this. And
well, we'll get you back on here.
I like a number 88 car, too.
Oh, it is. I like that car. That was a cool car, and I just didn't like what happened behind that car. But
we will get you back on here.
This is a cool experience. Like I said, 10 years ago, I'd never expected me to sit in the radio talking about NASCAR. I mean, I really never expected it. And it's a very neat thing to do. I've done a lot of cool things this year, like the picture above there, Camp 95. I applied through Levine. Like I said, I had numerous friends at Levine, but I don't think they had anything to do with that.
I'm gonna, Christian, I'm gonna read what you put in here. Listen up, Big G and Bullet. This Tuesday night, you can live stream the WOOP On Wheels radio show on their website at www.woopfm.com on Tuesday night, December the 15th. Christian Coley, myself, representing the NASCAR News Source, will be making his radio debut on WOOP On Wheels radio show in Cleveland, Tennessee. Special guests on Tuesday night include NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Morgan Shepherd, Nelson Gill, President, CEO at Ace Performance Products Plus, and Jarrett Andretti, driver at Andretti Autosport Short Track, and Camping World Truck Series driver, team owner Mike Afreo, along with myself. Be sure to tune in to the event and show them some NASCAR News Source support. I want to thank Eddie Radford for the opportunity and hope you all will tune in and enjoy. Coley, 2015.
Well,
yeah,
that's a good blog. Good deal.
There's a lot of other stories on there. Like I said, I cover every driver. I don't care if it's Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael McDowell, Timmy Hill.
But I think your favorite is Kurt Busch. You've got him lined up on side by side there.
The thing we did this year, and I thought it was a cool thing I could do, is every weekend we had a new winner. You know how we had a winner from the last season, and I'd take like this year. Let's take for example Homestead. You know, Kevin Harvick won the championship last year, so I took Kevin Harvick's victory lane photo and put it behind to help celebrate his win from last year, and then prepare us for what's about to happen. And I thought that'd be a very neat thing. And then during the off season, I was really debating on if I should put Matt Kenseth's Sprint Unlimited fixture there or the championship from this year. And I figured the championship this year was a better fit. And then the week before the Unlimited, we will change it to the Unlimited.
Now, these ladies here, we've had them on the show. I'll call in.
Yep,
yeah,
they're
Sprint Cup girl.
They're discontinuing the Miss Coors Light program.
They are?
Yep.
Well.
Yep.
And then as of late, we've been doing Flashback Fridays. If you tune in on Fridays on my blog, you'll see a race recap of that weekend's race, which last weekend would have been the Folds of Honor 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I did the Daytona 500 the week before. I'll just go every week. I'll go through the rest of the season. So that way, if you missed this season, you can tune in my blog and you can figure out what happened this season, get caught up. And if you're a new NASCAR fan, you can come on here and you can decide who you want to cheer for.
Plan B sales. If you're looking for a great service and awesome diecast, look no further than Plan B sales.
We can buy diecasts. I just bought 4 diecasts off of their Black Friday sales, including a new Michael McDowell diecast, which is available on Plan B sales. Just putting that out there. I'm not getting paid for bringing up their name. I just really appreciate all their hospitality and everything.
There ain't too many people gave Kyle Busch a chance to win the championship, but he did.
A lot of people don't think that he deserved it.
I really
I think he does. He came back. Yeah, he had 2 bad weeks there back to back, but he came back at Sonoma, a hard track to drive, especially if you're injured, and came back and won that race. And the cool thing about it was Kurt and Kyle Busch finished 1-2, and I think that's very neat.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the award ceremony last week with Kurt Busch, and I mean, Kurt Busch was almost in tears because I thought it was very cool because he's talking about how cool it is to see that I won a championship, and then I come out, my younger brother wins the championship, and that's very neat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What did you think about at the award banquets, Jeff Gordon? His speech choked up.
I got emotional in that one. I mean, like I said, Jeff Gordon is the Richard Petty of my era. I mean, I was not around to watch Richard Petty race, so really Jeff Gordon was the Richard Petty of my era. And to see him walk out in the sunset's very neat. He didn't have a very good season. I hate that for him. I would like to see him do better, but he didn't. They're with me.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was trying to figure out who it was.
They're my security guards. They're my parents. So,
hey, if you've got security, I'm gonna run.
Yeah, but I mean, like this season, I have to say, the 2015 season was one of the most entertaining seasons ever.
Huh? Oh yeah. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
Wheels is proud to be sponsored by the Gondolier for all your Italian and Greek specialties as well as the best pizza in town. Gondolier locations are at Ocoee, 1603 Highway 64, Benton, Tennessee. That phone number, 338-7299. Stop in and see the fine folks at the Ocoee Gondolier. And if you're in the Cleveland area, they're located at 3300 Keith Street, 472-4998. All items at Gondolier can be fixed for you to take home. Proud sponsors of WOOP On Wheels and the Gondolier.
Pizza Hut.
Can I really get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each?
You sure can. It's our new $6.99 any deal.
So a meat lovers and a chicken bacon and pineapple with barbecue sauce drizzle are only $6.99 each?
That's right. Any toppings.
How about a salami, sausage, jalapeno, black olive, and onion on honey sriracha thin crust?
$6.99.
Awesome. I'll take 2 medium pepperonis.
Okay.
You want it, you got it. Pizza Hut's new $6.99 any deal. Get 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any sauces, any crust flavors, and any specialty pizzas for $6.99 each.
Limited time offer excludes stuffed crust. Limit 1 crust flavor per pizza.
Advanced screen printing, airbrushing, and custom athletic work on all apparel. School spirit wear, hoodies, team uniforms. When Fast Eddie and Big G want to take in a little dirt track racing, it's a good bet they're going to stop in at Quick Burger on South Lee Highway. Quick Burger, Monday through Saturday, 10:30 to 6. Call-in orders are always welcome. That phone number is 472-0463. Stop in and see Ramel Dafford and her crew, Brenda, Rob, Ryan, Ashley, Dawn, and Betty, for the best burger in town. An extensive menu, plate specials, chicken sandwiches, and the best hot dog as well. Check in with Quick Burger on South Lee Highway.
The new Hardee's Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger. It's not for everyone. If you flinch when sizzling fire-roasted fajita veggies pass your table, it's not for you. It's not for you if the heat of pepper jack cheese once gave your mouth a boo-boo. But if fire-roasted peppers and onions and bacon on Black Angus beef makes you want to take a massive bite while straddling the Texas-Mexico border, it's for you. Introducing the Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger at Hardee's for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When the WOOP On Wheels crew gets back from a long weekend spent in the infield in Talladega, their first stop in town is Surf's Up Car Wash. Surf's Up, 2575 Guthrie Street Northwest, located next to Cleveland Utilities, 790-5793. Surf's Up Car Wash, voted Cleveland's best 3 years in a row. Stop by and see Mike Royval and his gang at Surf's Up. For all your pet grooming needs, see the staff at Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Happy Tails, located at 2251 North Ocoee Street. Business hours are Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday, 9 to 5:30. For your appointment, call 339-5777. A full-service professional groomer. Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Come shaggy, leave happy. When you're in the mood for frozen yogurt, come to Cleveland's Original, Perkins, 3506 Keith Street Northwest, located in the same plaza as Gondolier. Perkins Yogurt. Come see Roger Turpin at Perkins, 476-1668. Perkins Yogurt. Often imitated, never duplicated. When Big G and Fast Eddie need to make a pit stop for lunch, they head to Quiznos. Stop in and see Roger Patel and his crew at Quiznos Sub, 2151 Keith Street. Phone number 473-7976. For all your box lunches and catering needs, stop in and see the folks at Quiznos Sub. Quiznos. Toasty.
All right, we got L&B Appliance Sales here with Jason Taylor, the owner. 160 Durkee Road Northeast here in Cleveland, and their phone number is 339-3231. L&B's got the great prices on top brands, the best selection of appliances. Friendly, helpful, and knowledgeable salespeople there, professional installation and service. L&B carries these large selections of appliances. They are refrigerators, cooktops, ovens, ranges, washers, and dryers. If you're looking for appliances in the area, be sure to shop L&B Appliance Sales. And before you go to the showroom, be sure you check out L&B Sales special offer discount, rebates, and also financing specials on top brand merchandise. Their top brands are Amana, Electrolux, Frigidaire, Maytag, and Whirlpool. Give Jason Taylor a call at L&B Appliance at 339-3231. Also, we got need a good haircut, a flat top, whatever. Give old Carmen Wilson a call at 60 Mouse Creek Road, 476-5722. Big G needs a haircut now. He's getting shabby as an old goat right now. I mean, he's got hair growing out his ears. He needs to get a haircut. So give old Carmen a call. She'll cut that hair and make it look sweet for your honey. We got Morgan Shepherd on the line, so let's get him on here, and we'll go from there. Good evening, Morgan.
What you doing talking about hair?
Oh, well, just, that's a good subject to talk about tonight.
It is.
Well, yeah, I mean, Morgan?
I ain't got much of it.
Morgan, I've got a writer in here. He's the next thing besides Bob Parkeris in here. His name's Christian Coley, and he does a lot of NASCAR stuff. You might need to talk to him. He may do a blog on you.
Yeah, I certainly I'd like to do a blog about you, Morgan. I'm pretty sure a lot of my fans would enjoy reading about you.
Yeah, I got a little history.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got...
Let's talk about some history.
Let's talk about that charity.
Yeah, 29 years. The 14th was our date for up at the Park Workshop up at Stewart, Virginia. And we've been going to that place for 29 years. And of course, that's not the only part of our charity. That's just one of the startups. Well, we've done some other stuff at our church here the other week. We took a load of stuff down there, down in Albemarle at Prospect Baptist. And we're getting loaded up to go to Thomasville, Georgia, and then we got another friend over in Alabama, Miss Colleen Beasley. They've got a lot of people at their church that needs help, so we just tell them to send in the size of clothes and everything, and so we do individual bags for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And you just wouldn't believe this PVH Corporation. This is up here off 77, headed up to Galax. Anyway, they must have sent $100,000 worth of jeans, Tommy Hilfiger jeans, and shirts, and underwear, and I mean, it's just, we've really got stock to help people. And then a local place here, Southern Glove, that's where I worked at when I was a teenager, I think maybe 17, 18, somewhere along there. Worked there several years. They always provide us gloves, and we've got friends down there that always make sure that we're taken care of, and then a local place here, H.T. Hackett, Scott Shepherd. They, I think we got 5 pallets of food from them, and of course, then Samaritan's Purse.
Oh yeah.
They always help us. In Charlotte Motor Speedway, we got stuff from there. So, man, we've really got stock. Everywhere I go, I tell people, you know, if you know somebody that's needy and down and out, you know, get with me. And of course, we always tell the sheriff department and the fire departments around, you know, because everybody knows somebody that's in need. Just come to our place and we'll load you up. And then there's a foundation. This guy passed away several years back, and they for 5 years they sent us a good sum of money. And I didn't even know this guy, but whenever he passed away, it was in his will that they helped our charity.
Wow.
So pretty incredible that that's how the Lord uses you to. You don't have to have anything. The Lord just sends it to you.
You can be flat busted and still have it, can't you?
Yeah. It's been a good journey.
I stay that way.
Yeah, well, we all do.
Talk about Big G being busted.
Yeah, I'm busted right now.
Yeah, I stay
I'm
that way.
busted.
More than one way, right?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna get into the other way.
I'm busted. Period.
Well, I got a lot of friends out there that, you know, that's one good thing about our NASCAR racing is how we come in contact with people and they follow us through and help us out. It's one big family.
Kristen, you want to say anything to Morgan here? Well, he's getting his drink here. You gotta keep him hydrated here.
We're gonna drink, y'all letting him drink now.
Yeah,
We can't tell you that.
You gotta make sure I drink.
He's too young to drink.
Well, I mean, if you drink, you enjoy the racing a little bit more better.
That's
what people told me.
You don't know what's happened if you're drinking the wrong stuff.
Yeah, you drink the wrong stuff, you end up in the other side of Talladega.
I did that one time. I wasn't even drinking.
Have you,
what's the question?
He wants me to ask you about Top of the River.
Well, that's a place that we always hit first when we go to Talladega. Got good seafood, and they bring out this little pan of cornbread and slaw and pickled onions. Now, I can't eat a raw onion, but a pickled one, it doesn't bother me a bit. So I cut me up a pickled onion and mix it up with the slaw and that hot cornbread and a big old tea, and we're on our way.
So you're ready to go win Talladega after you eat that?
Yeah.
Without a car. Don't have to worry about fuel on that one.
Yeah, I was signing some cards a little bit ago, the cards that they do, and anyway, there's one year that I didn't have a car, and I just had the steering wheel in my hand, and they put it on a card.
So, may I ask, what are you looking for? What's your plans for 2016 currently? Or do you have anything set yet?
No, nothing's set. We I'm trying to get my charity stuff out of the way, and as soon as we get it out of the way, we'll and that'll be after Christmas. We'll be back on the car and
full throttle in the speed weeks.
Yeah, and I'd like to try to get something that's a little bit newer. My chassis is a 2009, and I'm trying to talk Richard in to see if I can't find something down there that would make me a little faster.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that would like to help you out. I mean, I'd be interested in talking to you more. Maybe getting you a post on my blog, maybe get more sponsors and stuff to see you out there, and maybe they'll look into sponsor you in 2016.
Well, we appreciate that, and maybe I hope something becomes of it.
I always like seeing that purple Christian car out there. That's always one of the coolest things. And I mean, with my name being Christian, it's pretty cool to see my name out there.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty neat to see how people live out their faith out on the racetrack. And I think it's very neat how you're doing.
Well, the Lord's blessed me with my health and a lot of good friends.
A lot of good.
So we'll try to keep that cross wheeling.
Keep carrying the cross, Morgan. That's what we got to do.
That's right.
I mean,
you can only get better.
Yeah, you can't get worse.
Yep.
Right, Big G?
Yeah, he better watch them roller skates.
Yeah, better watch them roller skates.
Yeah, I went skating Sunday. I haven't been skating much, and I thought I better go get a little skating in before I go on my charity trip, because I usually dance on my skates up there. This is the first time I didn't actually do it, though. I just felt like I wasn't tuned up enough. It helped me by going Sunday, but I didn't feel like it was good enough to put them on. But we had a lot of good entertainment. So Barry McGee, he plays Harvey. He keeps everybody laughing, and we just had a great group of people.
Yeah. That guy plays Barney Five. Is he still alive? I mean, he was down at our place once, and he's from North Carolina. What was his name?
You talking about Don Knotts?
He's over at Tennessee.
Yeah, what is his name, Morgan? Real name? I mean...
You caused me to draw a blank here.
Yeah, I did too. I know who you're talking about.
But he's over at...
I thought you were talking about the real one.
So the real one's dead, Big D.
Yeah, he's been dead.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, the other one, he's...
he bit the duck.
He's got that character down pat.
Well, I'm happy tonight for one reason. This sucker has not locked up since we've been on our show. I mean, our streaming is running smoothly tonight.
Watch it lock up in a minute.
Big G has a Morgan Shepherd shirt on. I have my Whoop shirt on, and Bullet has a Whoop shirt on.
I'm the oddball.
He's the oddball tonight with the 89 here.
By the way, I do like your shirt, Morgan. I'm going to have to get a cap.
Cap?
Yeah, I'm going to get one of his
I'm
caps.
going to have to get a die-cast car is what I'm going to have to get
Yeah.
to him.
Talk to Plan B Sales. I'm pretty sure they can get you one.
Let me write that down. Plan B Sales.
I mean, they're just now starting to make Michael McDowell die-cast. Give it time.
Yeah.
They, I know that guy that makes them. It takes about maybe three or 4 months to get an order through. But boy, they do a good job.
Those customs that people make are
Yeah.
crazy.
What I need to do is talk to Jack Martin. Used to be with Winston. Jack Martin, he worked with, he had die-cast cars that they sold. His deal. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. Hey, Morgan, we're going to have Nelson Gill out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama on here next. He works with torque converters for drag cars and whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yes, and unreal what they do with those things.
Oh, yeah. He's going to tell us the whole system about a torque converter, which I'm completely stupid with.
Well, what they do is the maximum horsepower or torque is at a certain range, and let's just say that it doesn't come in the maximum torque to 6,000 RPMs. They fix those torque converters that when they mash that engine, mash that throttle down, it doesn't take hold till whatever RPM that will get the car moving the best at.
Yeah.
Then they got to hook it up.
Without a torque converter, it don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, Morgan, I need to ask you a question. Jitsi Markham has asked me this off of the internet. Ask Morgan about his runs for Stan Hoover in ARCA. Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, I can tell you that Stan is a hammer man. if something doesn't fit, don't let Stan get a hold of a hammer. He'll make that adjustment where you can't get it back.
It really wouldn't fit then, would it?
Yeah. Stan is a great guy. I really enjoyed racing with him. We, I think, did some Pocono, and let's see, what all did we run at? But he's one of the old school racers, and
Did you like running ARCA, Morgan?
well, I like running anything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't pay like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Does it? No.
I know where at Daytona we had Stan over there. He was helping on the car, and that's where everything is just really a fine line.
Yeah.
Stan got that hammer out and started hammering on the cow, and it wasn't no way to get it back after we had to take the hammer away from him, hide it.
Yeah. And I wanted to tell you, after that guy with the torque converter, Nelson Gill, we're going to have Jared Andretti, John Andretti's son, on here.
John is Andretti families. They're great people, and I know and we still may. We used to get a check from him every year for our charity. He was one of them that was very loyal.
Yeah. Yeah, and he says his dad helps him with this sprint car, and I'm excited to talk with him. And Micah Frano, you know him, don't you? Micah Frano? Rayo?
He flipped at Talladega a couple years ago.
Yeah, he drove the purple truck, I guess. And
Pink.
Pink.
It's one of those colors.
It's wild color.
Morgan, do you remember Fireball Roberts?
Yes, I didn't race at that time when Fireball lost his life, but I remember I was watching the race on TV, and I remember Ned Jarrett going over and was pulling him out of the car, trying to save him. Of course, nowadays, he would have lived, but then when you get burnt, all that's come a long ways now to where them save a man's life. But Fireball put the fuel cell on the map. That's when NASCAR started trying to develop something instead of a regular gas tank, and came up with the fuel cell.
Yeah.
Which has been great for our sport. It's a shame we had to lose such a great driver.
Yeah, Fireball was something else.
Well, it seems like we've lost a lot of good drivers and end up, fixing the problem, because we did lose a good driver.
Yeah. Hey, I remember Joe Webb, he got, killed at Riverside. They was over at Hickory doing a race, and they got like our cars got in them and raced them, and anyway, he'd spun out and he's trying to get the car cranked back up, and it caught on fire, and I went out there and jerked the hood up and took my shirt off and put the fire out and got him back going.
Wow.
What about that?
Are you still in contact with the Dion brothers in New Hampshire?
We haven't talked in a while, but we always, when we're up there, I asked about them, and then I hear they asked about me. That's some of the finest people in racing.
I believe you're one of Jency Markham's fans here, Morgan, because he always logs on to me on the night of the show, and he's wanting to know about Morgan.
Well, I appreciate that.
So you got more fans out there than you think you do.
No, I know about them.
You've got them.
Yeah, we sure do.
And we're all wanting to see some funding where we can see the 89, the cross, up front. That's where we want to see it.
Well, think Big G's working on that some too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working. I got to make a trip next week.
Big G's working on it now. I have to admit, he has been hard working on this.
I got to go up next week and go to a meeting. And hopefully we'll know
Hopefully
something.
that'll turn out good for
Morgan.
This meeting.
Well, it'll be really for the Lord.
Yeah.
I always say this is not about Morgan.
Didn't you say that? Hang on just a minute, Morgan. Didn't you say, Big G, that Morgan would probably have to make an appearance? He can do that.
Yeah, I think me and him
Morgan?
talked about that last week, and Morgan said I think you said you didn't have a problem doing that.
Oh, I got no problem.
Morgan's a speaker anyway.
Well, I don't know about that neither.
I think we talked about all that there, and
all right.
And I think we got all. Me and Morgan got our part worked out. We're just trying to get the other part worked out now.
Well, I'm pretty sure with the Lord's hand in it, it'll all work out, won't it, Morgan?
We'll take the money, devil's money.
Take the devil's money?
We'll take the devil's money. That's what we called it up on the interstate. We said, well, we're looking for some devil's money.
Well, that's about it, Morgan. I mean, that's a good way to close this out. We'll take the devil's money.
Yeah. Well, I think I told you this, and then we'll go. But our preacher, anyhow, he walked in on a poker game, and he just walked right over to the table and picked up all the money, grabbed it off the center table, and he said, "The devil's had this money long enough. This is going to church, son."
That's pretty good, Morgan.
Yeah, if you knew Brother Stan Fry.
I've heard of his name. Seems like I've heard that name before.
He's very popular all over the world. He goes to Africa and everywhere. He's had to quit. His health is, I don't know if he's quit completely, but he was going all the time, and man, he can speak all these different languages and remember all these names. It's an incredible person.
Morgan, I got one more quick thing, a quick answer on this, because I've got a 7:30 appointment here to hit. Where did the Pontiacs come from, and that he ran the 05 car for himself with? Question mark. That's what he's got.
The Pontiacs?
Yeah. You must have drove Pontiac somewhere in these races.
Well, no. My first Cup win was in a Pontiac at Martinsville, Virginia. And at that time, I didn't. I had all neighborhood help. I didn't have one single guy that could weld. I did all the welding on the car, and of course, our first race we skipped Daytona and went to Richmond, sat on the pole, and ended up running fourth in the race. But I led most of the race. But then they kind of made fun of our pit crew, said they looked like a bunch of monkeys jumping on football. Newspaper did, and it made my guys so determined. By the time we got to Martinsville, we led 369 laps of the race and won the race over and beat everybody out of the pits.
Good job. And did Fast AT we wasn't having a show next week?
Okie dokie.
We're going to take off early Christmas.
Out in Thomasville, Georgia.
All right, buddy. We'll get back with you on the 29th. How's that?
All right. God bless you.
You too.
You too. Have a good Christmas.
Have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Morgan Shepherd, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back. We got to take another station break. We'll be back.
WOOP On Wheels is proud on the Gondolier for all your Italian and Greek specialties, as well as the best pizza in town. Gondolier locations are at Ocoee, 1603 Highway 64, Benton, Tennessee. That phone number, 338-7299. Stop in and see the fine folks at the Ocoee Gondolier. And if you're in the Cleveland area, they're located at 3300 Keith Street, 472-4998. All items at Gondolier can be fixed for you to take home. Proud sponsors of WOOP On Wheels and the Gondolier.
Pizza Hut.
Can I really get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each?
You sure can. It's our new $6.99 any deal.
So a meat lovers and a chicken, bacon, and pineapple with barbecue sauce drizzle are only $6.99 each?
That's right. Any toppings.
How about a salami, sausage, jalapeno, black olive, and onion on honey sriracha thin crust?
$6.99.
Awesome. I'll take 2 medium pepperonis.
Okay.
You want it, you got it. Pizza Hut's new $6.99 any deal. Get 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any sauces, any crust flavors, and any specialty pizzas for $6.99 each.
Limited time offer excludes stuffed crust. Limit 1 crust flavor per pizza.
Nelson.
Yes. Hey,
Oh,
how's it going?
You good? You got Fast Eddie here. You got Big G, Bullet, and we've got a special guest in here tonight, Christian Cooley. Coley. I keep pronouncing his last name wrong. Coley.
It's happened all my life. So.
And he's a rider. He's a rider for racing, NASCAR. And anyway, Nelson, I'm going to turn to you. Are the president and CEO of ACC Performance Products Plus. Now, tell everybody what it is and what you do, what you all do.
Okay, well, I'm like a kid in a candy store. We manufacture high-performance torque converters. This would be pretty much for the street performance, street strip, restoration, trucks, dirt track, drag racing, nitrous, trans brake, turbocharged type cars. And the reason why I got into this is because the amount of passion that we've got for racing. Every time we go to SEMA and PRI, it's, again, like I'm a kid at a candy store. Been doing this all my life. Been around manufacturing all my life, and I really care about what we do and how we build our parts. There's a big mystery behind torque converters, and that's basically matching up, the stall range to a particular application. Advertised stalls are basically off of a fixed setup, and the stall range in them can vary vastly depending upon how your motor's built. Whether it's just the gear ratio, the amount of back pressure through your exhaust system can make a big difference by itself. And, the amount of intake, it's all about air in and air out, isn't it?
Yes.
That's it. What makes it?
Yes, sir. Do y'all have any particular questions or things we need to go over on torque converters and to try to alleviate some of the mystery about stall?
I got a question for you. I don't, now, if a person puts headers on a car, does that make the torque converter much more powerful?
Well, actually, it tightens the stall up in the torque converter. The torque converter, virtually, in order to match a stall range up to a car, is a physics equation. Now, obviously, they're fixed numbers as far as how that goes, but have you ever heard of people taking a brand new truck off the showroom floor? Of course, I'm kind of dating myself a little bit, but they would put dual exhaust on the truck, and not only would they get a lot more mid-range and upper-end power, but they got a little bit better gas mileage.
Right.
Well, that's because it dropped the stall in the torque converter. Mind you, it's 100, 150 RPM. It's not a lot. But if you turn around and put some really free-flowing type mufflers on there, you're taking the back pressure off of the motor, and that's the resistance at that point. Is as you're building up the fluid pressure, in order to make that stall range, what actually makes it stall is that resistance against it. So by putting less back pressure against the motor is actually going to cause the torque converter to begin moving that car at a little bit less RPM.
Yeah. Now you make these things, right, Nelson? These torque converters.
We do.
How long does it take to? I mean, what's an average amount that you make a day?
We're making right at 20,000 converters a year. So it could be 100 a day. It could be 200 a day. It just depends on what all we're making and the different steps involved.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yes, sir.
You must have a big plant that's doing this.
Well, sir, we just expanded, more than doubled our square footage this year. We've added several lathe machines. We got a brand new CNC machine in here that actually I've been running up until this call.
Wow.
Now, earlier when you was talking about the back pressure, that's like when I put deals on my truck, I got a 07 Dodge with a Hemi in it. And, you know, they make them mufflers, you know, the factory, to make them so big, they, you know, everybody think, oh my goodness, what a muffler on them. Well, now this is what the muffler guy has told me. He said they've got so much back pressure on them, when they take them off, they have turned blue at the back of the muffler. I think that's right, or it might be in front of the muffler. Anyway, they've turned blue somewhere, and they said they get cherry hot because it's building up too much heat. Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your catalytic converter don't help it none, because it's getting hot too. They'll get up to so many hundreds of degrees, then it's going to, you know, flow on back until it gets to the muffler. And, you know, like every one I took off of every one of my Dodge trucks, it looked like it's almost been on fire because it has turned cherry red.
Cherry red, gold, gunmetal black. Yeah.
Right. Now, what?
Exhaust systems are very restrictive.
Okay. Now, is that done damage to that torque converter?
No.
Okay.
No, all that does is because there's more back pressure there, there's more resistance against it, so it's going to allow it to slip a little bit more.
Okay.
So it will cause, actually, it will actually do, well, not damage, but it's going to increase the temperature inside the transmission.
Okay.
Because you're getting more slip out of it.
Okay. Yeah, I know that they always say that it's better to put deals on to take that single exhaust off, or that one big muffler off, and put deals on, like you said, where you can get the air out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then air out, and only thing your motor is just a big air compressor anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, it's just sitting there, you know, it's breathing. You want it to breathe. You don't want it to sit there and suck air. You want it to get the air, you know, suck air in and blow the air back out.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got it figured out.
Yeah, that works. No doubt.
Now,
go ahead.
All torque converters are not the same, right? That you make different ones for different vehicles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and you could do enough to your car, like all of our stalls are based off of a 3,550-pound car. Okay. Basically, just a factory V8 type intake, and True Duals 342 type gears. Okay.
Yeah.
That's basically a step over stock. I mean, literally one or two things done to the car. Okay. So let's just say that you know, in our test vehicle, which was Oldsmobile 442 in 1987 with a 350 transmission, 350C transmission, and a 350 engine. Well, we changed the intake, and we went from your standard type Performer, what was really close to a Performer, to a Performer RPM dual plane. And we did a foot brake test, mind you. It was a factory torque converter in there. And that actually dropped the stall 450 RPM.
Wow.
Okay, because you're going from something that's used to idle to like 5,500 or 5,200 RPM to something that's going to start at 1,500 to 6,500 RPM. Now, if you actually look at the flow batch and how it actually, when it really starts picking up and starts working good, or its power band of that Performer RPM dual plane, starts at about 2,500 and goes to about 64. So what you're doing, if you were to like take a couple of pieces of pizza and that's your power band, and you just raise it all the way up there to 6,400, you're making the bottom end a lot weaker.
Yeah.
As far as producing torque.
Right.
Closer to idle. Have you ever read on a K&N air filter box where you can see something minuscule like 8 to 12% better gas mileage?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
All that is obtained is at idle. The vacuum's not working nearly as hard because you're letting a lot more air in than with the wet gauze than you are the paper. So that actually drops the torque figures. It's 600, 800 to 1,000 RPM, and that's how they get that better gas mileage.
Right. Now,
if you're that sensitive, you can see that everything you bolt onto your car, whether it's a complete exhaust system, whether it's a cold air intake system, whether it's head, intake, I mean, everything matters on how you go about picking the stall range.
Wow.
Right. Now, you brought up a question. I'm going to ask you. I cannot remember. I didn't pay enough attention to Mike LaJoy when he was on. I don't think I paid enough attention, but you mentioned 442. Do you remember what 442 means?
I did it one time, man, and it escapes me now. I want to say it had something to do with 4-barrel, and shoot, man, I don't remember all that.
I remember it I know you was talking about 4-barrel.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 4-barrel, 4-speed, and I can't remember now what they said the 2 was. I'll have to look it up now. Mike LaJoy, when they have, this Barrett Jackson auction, they have a 442 come up, they always tell you what the 442 means, and they tell you how to tell how it's a true 442.
Yeah.
Something new to me. I thought 442 was
442 horsepower.
Yeah.
No, it ain't.
That's what I thought.
No, I mean, that's right. That's what I always thought.
That's what I thought.
But it means something different. It means something that the car's got certain.
442 something.
Yeah, it's got 4-barrel, 4. I don't know. I mean, I'll have to look it up and see. I can't.
4-speed, 2-wheel drive, positive traction.
I think you're right. I think that is right. I wanted to say 2-wheel drive.
I believe he's right.
I believe he is too.
Now, I want to tell this on you, Nelson, before we go any farther. Nelson, when I talked to him today, his second, I guess that was your secretary, right, Nelson?
Oh, actually, that was my wife, yeah.
Oh, your wife?
Yeah, that's
I told her that I was supposed to talk to you tonight, and she said, "Oh, I don't think that can happen." I said, "What do you mean?" Well, you got to understand, we're down here in Alabama, Muscle Shoals, and he's not got enough time to get up there. I said, he doesn't have to come on the show. I just want him to do a call in. You know what I mean, Nelson? And she laughed, and she said, "Oh, yeah, okay."
You're not that far away, I mean, I can show up.
Yeah. I've been too much on you. We may get you on here one time, though.
Sure, I'd love to.
When you've got more time or something, to do it. But
he's knowledgeable. I like it.
I'll say.
He's
I
knowledgeable.
I never did know much about torque converters myself.
I've seen them at the racetrack a couple times.
Have you ever? Okay, what you got to think is, in order to build the fluid pressure inside a torque converter, it actually uses the centrifugal force of turning with the crankshaft, via the flex blade.
Yeah.
So it's always turning, so the fluid gets swung out to the outside, just like standing on the outside of a merry-go-round. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're standing on the outside of a merry-go-round, if you mess around, push it a different way or something, it could throw you off of it, correct?
Right.
Okay, so what happens to that pressure pulling you outwards when you take one step in towards the center of the merry-go-round? Well, it almost completely comes off of you.
Yeah.
In this particular case, we can actually change the diameter of the stall converter in order to match that. So in order to have that same fluid pressure for the merry-go-round, you got to spin it faster. Well, in this case, raise the RPMs. Have you ever seen somebody that's, built a car to where they kind of have to fight the brakes at a red light or something like that?
Me.
They need a stall converter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a big stall, but you got to match it correctly.
Correct.
That's where I come into play.
Okay, I don't know what 442 means now.
What you got?
In 1965, the first year of automatic transmissions, the option on 442 was 400 cubic inch displacement, 4-barrel carburetor, and 2 dual exhaust. In 1985 to 1987 was the last year of rear wheel driven 442s.
Wow.
So that's what 442 means.
Well, let me know.
400 cubic inch, 4-barrel, 2 dual exhaust.
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah, so
that's new on me.
We learned something today.
I'll tell you what, that 442 and 87 sure as heck wasn't that.
no. Let me ask you something else. I've played with a few cars in my time and trucks. I didn't play with a whole lot of cars. I played with a lot of trucks. Now, the torque converters, I guess what it is, what I'm trying to say is, I don't remember when I was growing up seeing a torque converter in a straight shift.
No, they're only for automatics.
That's what I thought. Somebody argued with me one day last week, or we was talking about this on the radio and we was going to have you on or something, and they argued with me. No, they put torque converters in straight shifts. That's the only way. I said, no. I said, a straight shift, it's just got a flywheel that goes up into the transmission, and you change your gears through your. And they said, no, you got to have a torque converter. I said, the only thing I ever remember seeing a torque converter in is an automatic.
No, you are correct. See, actually, how I explain it is directly that. The automatic transmission, the torque converter is the clutch.
Right.
The automatic.
Right.
Okay. You don't. Yeah. You have. And basically, the reason why there's an automatic and there's such a thing as stall is to allow you to come up to a stop and your engine still idle without going 1-to-1 with the motor and killing it.
Right.
Killing the motor.
Right.
So in a stick shift, you let the clutch in, you come to a stop while your motor's still turning.
Right. Correct.
So yeah, that is definitely correct.
Because your clutch and pressure plate is what puts pressure on the flywheel.
That's correct.
And your flywheel is what's making your motor turn with your transmission, with the clutch and pressure plate and all.
Yeah, that's what you
do. What now?
I said that's what connects the motor with the transmission is the clutch, and you control that. You push by depression the clutch or not, or taking it out. And with an automatic transmission, it has fluid, and the diameter and the fins inside are set up at such a pace, like on a factory vehicle, to optimize gas mileage, not necessarily even performance or anything. But it allows you to come to a stop, and those fins and the sprag or the stator itself allows it to come to a stop without actually lugging the motor down.
Mm-hmm.
If your motor's lugging down when you put it in gear, you need a stall converter.
Right. Now that torque converter also, when you put it in that transmission, it's got to go in a certain way and click in there and push in. If it don't, that transmission's not going to bolt up that motor.
Well, not only that, it's a lot more precise than that. Even an SFI high-performance flex plate, to be within spec, is allowed to do just what its namesake is flex.
Right.
So for it to be in tolerance, it can move a total of 1/8 of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're engaging a torque converter, when you take the chamfers to help guide it to click in and stuff, into consideration, the flat spot or the tooth that's cut into it is only 3/8 of an inch. So now you got to take the 1/8 of an inch out. So for proper installation, there's only 1/4 of an inch for you to be in there proper.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could either pop out of the front pump gear and ride on top of it, or it could actually put too much pressure on the front pump gear, which will then burn up the front pump and take the transmission out.
I say I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
You've taught me a lot.
Hey, Nelson, we appreciate you doing this tonight, and we've sort of run 20 minutes. I've run about 10 minutes longer than I was going to with you, but I appreciated it, having you on here.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
and like to get you back.
Appreciate it as well.
I've learned a lot today, and I mean, like I said, I'd never really seen the torque converters unless I was at the racetrack. I really understand what they were for, and well, today I really understand it now.
Well, yeah, the one thing about a torque converter, just like a clutch, we could start you off at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 and explode that power out. So you still have a choice, just like having a clutch.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I hope you enjoyed your time on this, too, Nelson.
Oh, I certainly have, no doubt. I'd love to come back.
You'll come back, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Great.
I may holler back at you in about a month or so.
Yeah, just let me know.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you.
Y'all have a great one and have a safe holiday here.
You too, Nelson.
Nelson. Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Okay, goodbye.
Nelson Gill, president of ACC Performance Products Plus torque converters.
He knows about torque converters.
Yeah, a lot about him. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, man. I mean,
I wanted to set that straight because if that person listens to this radio station, I want him to know that I was right.
Make sure he knows.
Gee, we're going to take another break, and we'll be back.
Pizza Hut.
Can I really get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each?
You sure can. It's our new $6.99 any deal.
So a meat lovers and a chicken, bacon, and pineapple with barbecue sauce drizzle are only $6.99 each?
That's right. Any toppings.
How about a salami, sausage, jalapeno, black olive, and onion on honey sriracha thin crust?
$6.99.
Awesome. I'll take 2 medium pepperonis.
Okay.
You want it, you got it. Pizza Hut's new $6.99 any deal. Get 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any sauces, any crust flavors, and any specialty pizzas for $6.99 each.
Limited time offer excludes stuffed crust. Limit 1 crust flavor per pizza.
Advanced screen printing, airbrushing, and custom athletic work on all apparel. School spirit wear, hoodies, team uniforms, t-shirts, hats, airbrushing, car tags, helmets, shoes, etc. Advanced screen printing is located at 922 Wildwood Avenue on the corner of Wildwood and 9th, just across from the old Wildwood IGA. Very competitive prices and excellent customer service. Come see us at Advanced Screen Printing, where we'll bring your ideas to life. Just like that big national burger chain, you can have it your way. Just mention that you heard about us on WOOP On Wheels, and we'll give a 10% discount for any customer who orders or purchases based on this ad. Owned and operated by Patrick Shepard and Avery Ladd. Email us at advancedscreenprint@yahoo.com or like us on Facebook, Advanced Screen Printing, Airbrushing, and Athletic Apparel. Advanced Screen Printing will bring your ideas to life. When Fast Eddie and Big G want to take in a little dirt track racing, it's a good bet they're going to stop in at Quick Burger on South Lee Highway. Quick Burger, Monday through Saturday, 10:30 to 6. Call-in orders are always welcome. That phone number is 472-0463. Stop in and see Ramel Dafford and her crew, Brenda, Rob, Ryan, Ashley, Dawn, and Betty, for the best burger in town. An extensive menu, plates.
We got a caller here. Go ahead, caller. You're live on the Whoop.
Hello, everybody. Whoop Radio.
What's going on?
Would you tell these guys in here, didn't hear you. Would you tell them, Ella, what I said? I said, do you want to call us back? We're playing some commercials. And what did you tell me?
I said, hell no.
Ella, I thought you loved us.
You think I'm going to call back and you guys not answer?
Well, I mean, heck, I didn't see you.
Yeah, we didn't see you.
Hey, almost said it myself. Oh, hell, I didn't know you was going to call back.
Which one's lying?
Listen, Ella, I didn't see the phone ring or didn't hear it ring.
We didn't see it or hear it.
You know, Ella, I would never.
I've been trying to call y'all a half an hour.
We've been on the phone.
We've been on the phone for a half hour talking to a man about torque converters.
We've been talking about your torque converter too, Ella.
Ella, how is Blackfoot, Idaho tonight?
Well, it's got snow on the ground.
Oh my gosh!
It's 68 degrees outside here.
It's 68 here, Ella. What are you doing?
Are you skiing?
What am I doing? I'm talking to you.
Well, I know that.
I thought you'd be out there making a snowman.
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Hey, I don't go outside. It's too cold.
Have you talked to the Pro Daddy or Mark or any of them?
No, I talked to Mel.
Susie Q.
Mark, so he's up there, ain't he?
Oh, yeah, you know he is.
Yeah, he's up there, ain't he?
No.
He is. I say he is.
I say he is too, Ella. I better not catch him up there.
Let me tell you something. You guys know that I know about those little lights that they have going around in the houses and everywhere else, in the bathrooms and everywhere else. Now, you know that's them.
Yeah, he's up there watching you, Ella.
Did she say we know about Miller Lights? I mean, okay. You doggy
The
Ella.
lights that goes around.
Oh, the lights. Ella, you gonna have a big Christmas up there, Blackfoot?
Well, I don't know. I guess they'll have a big dinner here.
Oh yeah, with all the trimmings, turkey, dressing, candy yam.
We already got our Christmas tree up.
Oh yeah, I have too since Thanksgiving.
I put my Christmas lights up yesterday.
I've had it up since Thanksgiving.
I've had mine up for 2 years now, so.
Oh, you never take it down.
Never take it down. Why take it down?
Why take it down?
I mean, you're just gonna have to put it up a few months later.
I want to tell everybody something.
Go ahead, shoot it.
Everybody that's on Facebook, I want y'all to listen. Now, this guy just gave me a paper to sign today. He asked me if I wanted to stay here another year. I said, yes, I want to stay here another year. Because I do not want to go live with my son because he's too mean to me. He hit me in the head twice with his fist.
Good.
And I said, I want to stay here. I don't care how long it takes me. I'll stay here forever if I have to.
There you go.
Well, they're
stay
good.
there.
They're good to you there, ain't they?
Oh, yeah. We have so much fun, us and these girls. They curl my hair. And
Oh, I bet it looks pretty.
yeah.
I'm going to go get my hair curled tomorrow.
I hope Big G gets his curled and cut out of his ears.
I got hair growing all the way down to my back now.
He looks like a goat.
I want to tell you something else.
Well, tell it.
My son has to pay. Hey, shut up a minute.
Shut up a minute, Eddie.
Saying nothing.
My son has to pay for my medicine.
Yeah?
Yeah, he has to pay for my medicine now.
Well, I'll be dang.
Well,
somebody needs to pay for mine. I'm on 12 bottles now.
Well, you know why he has to pay for mine? Because he had my whole check and wouldn't give me any.
Eddie's on that illegal medicine.
Yeah, Lord, Ella.
I fell a couple of days ago. I had to go to the hospital.
Well, I don't need you falling.
Well, that's that vertigo.
Yeah, you get it in your head, right?
Yeah.
Well, you ever had vertigo, Gerald?
No, I got a wife that's got it. I tell her to get vertical and go.
Oh, God. Yes,
I've heard of it.
No, she's really got it.
Tell everybody on Facebook they can call me. I just got this little phone, but they can call me up here at the Willows.
Yeah, we will, Ella. You're at the Willows. What's his face is supposed to be sending you some kind of a card.
Yeah.
Right here.
Happy Day card.
I'm going to send you a Christmas card, Ella.
Signed by all the Whoopsters.
Okay, you do that.
Fast Eddie, Big G.
Froday send you one, too.
When I see it.
You'll get it.
She said she'd believe it when she sees it.
Well, I'm going to send it to you. Whether you get it or not, it's up to the mail, but I'm going to send it.
We're going to send you a 6-pack, too. 12-pack, 24. Bottle of moonshine.
I'm going to mail it to you. Where you get it or not, it's not up to me now. I'm going to send it.
All right, I know it.
What kind of moonshine you want? What flavor?
I don't know.
She can't have that in that Willows.
Well, she can if it's kind of a cherry or a strawberry flavor. She can have it.
Anyway, I'll let y'all go.
All right, now. You get in the bed now.
It's your past your bedtime, Ella.
We won't be here next week.
Ella, we won't be here. No, we're taking off for Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you, Ella.
Merry Christmas, Ella.
Christmas to you guys, too.
All right, good night.
Good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
I need to tell you who she is. Really, she used to call it. She used to be called Mama Woo.
Woo! What I say?
She actually got put in Blackfoot, Idaho.
That's what I say. Hey, let's see here.
Let me see if I can get a hold of Jarrett Andretti.
Jarrett Andretti.
I'll tell you what, Big G, you're a barrel of life. We'll be right back.
When the WOOP On Wheels crew gets back and spent in the infield in Talladega, their first stop in town is Surf's Up Car Wash. Surf's Up, 2575 Guthrie Street Northwest, located next to Cleveland Utilities. 790-5793. Surf's Up Car Wash, voted Cleveland's best 3 years in a row. Stop by and see Mike Royval and his gang at Surf's Up. When the WOOP On Wheels crew gets back from a long weekend spent in the infield in Talladega, their first stop in town is Surf's Up Car Wash. Surf's Up, 2575 Guthrie Street Northwest, located next to Cleveland Utilities. 790-5793. Surf's Up Car Wash, voted Cleveland's best 3 years in a row. Stop by and see Mike Royval and his gang at Surf's Up. For all your pet grooming needs, see the staff at Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Happy Tails, located at 2251 North Ocoee Street. Business hours are Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday, 9 to 5:30. For your appointment, call 339-5777. A full-service professional groomer. Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Come shaggy, leave happy. When you're in the mood for frozen yogurt, come to Cleveland's Original, Perkins, 3506 Keith Street Northwest, located in the same plaza as Gondolier. Perkins Yogurt. Come see Roger Turpin at Perkins, 476-1668. Perkins Yogurt. Often imitated, never duplicated. When Big G and Fast Eddie need to make a pit stop for lunch, they head to Quiznos. Stop in and see Roger Patel and his crew at Quiznos Sub, 2151 Keith Street. Phone number 473-7976. For all your box lunches and catering needs, stop in and see the folks at Quiznos Sub. Quiznos. Toasty.
All right, Jared. We got Jared Andretti, the son of John Andretti, on the line here. Jared, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. You got Fast Eddie, Big G, Bullet, and Christian.
Yeah.
Here tonight with us. I've got a house full of people in here tonight. But anyway, Jared, tell the listening audience what you've been doing lately. I know he races, that's for sure. Sprint cars.
Yeah, we run a lot of sprint car stuff here in Indiana. A lot of non-wing 410 races. Probably did about 60 races last year, and we're gonna do a lot of the same next year. I might even do a couple wing races. Done some Silver Crown stuff, some super modified stuff, a little bit of everything, even a little sports cars and some road racing. So we've been busy the past couple of years since I've been on the air with you last.
Yeah, it's been a year?
I think it's been a couple more. I was in college and I graduated about a year ago. So
good night. I didn't know it'd been that long. Well, we've had the Whoop
when you're having fun.
Yeah, especially with the Whoop on Wheels show. It's getting old. You know, I mean, it's not getting old. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for years.
People here's getting old.
I'm even getting old.
Go ahead and say it. I'm the oldest one in here.
No, I won't do that. Big G, you got anything you want to talk to Jared about?
Yeah. Now, you say you're racing open wheels, right? Is that what you're doing right now?
Yep.
And now is your daddy helping you kind of on the sideline with you, kind of helping you out and all that good junk?
Yeah, he's doing more than even that. I mean, he actually was in a lot of ways, it was just me and him working on the cars this year. So he was I guess you would call my chief mechanic, my crew chief. I mean, he was there every night, at the car wash with me with the sprint car, running the valves and changing the oil and, doing all that stuff with me. So he's a little more than sideline help, and then he also obviously helps on the business side with handling himself professionally and interviews and sponsor meetings. Yeah. He's really involved in, getting a young driver up to speed about, how to conduct yourself and how to race and even work on this stuff as well.
Okay, so he's learning you how to work on your own car and take that into your own hands just in case you, I guess, have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you see a lot of the great drivers, and they have to, that they know how to work on their own stuff. There's obviously guys that that aren't in that mold, but I think my dad was one of the guys that could work on his own stuff. Also, Mario could, obviously AJ and Gurney built his own cars. He just a variety of built his own chassis. But a lot of the great drivers have been able to do both. It's not necessarily a requirement, but I think that it helps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Michael
Andretti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. He was good too. Mario was good. Oh my goodness.
Mario's great. Well, Mr. J, my name is Christian. I'm with NASCAR News Source. Now, I was wanting to know if you are looking to go anywhere into NASCAR.
I think that obviously a lot of the guys from sprint car racing get that's where they end up more so than the IndyCar route. I think it's difficult. You got to get your foot in the door and get some stock car experience. But I think that a lot of the open wheel guys have proven themselves to be good candidates. So hopefully that owners continue to look and start to look more as they used to. And you got Casey Kane, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart,
Kyle Larson,
obviously Kyle Larson. Then you got Christopher Bell coming, and you
Bobby
got
Pierce,
good guys. Yeah, I mean the list goes on and on. I mean, all the great guys. You just look at the Cup champions. You see how many come from open wheel sprint cars, and they come in and perform right away in the Cup Series. So I think that guys like that, I would like to. They're paving the way, and I think that you can. There's a lot of other good talent here that hopefully can get the opportunity.
Oh yeah.
What's the? I just heard a rumor that Danica is thinking about going back to sprint or open wheels. I mean, have you heard anything about that?
No, that's the first I've heard of that.
I mean, that's just a rumor I heard. I mean, I didn't hear it from nobody, no, source or anything. It's just something that I seen. You don't, everything you read on the internet is not always the truth.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Well, okay. I didn't know if you know that or not. Most people thinks it is. But I did. I mean, like I said, I read that on the internet, and I thought, I don't think Tony Stewart's going to let her go like that.
Boy, Jared, I'm looking at some stuff on the on your page here. I see the it looks like number 18 car upside down. Now it's some it's in the catch fence or something here at one of the tracks. That's your car, I'm sure.
Yep, that's me.
How was it going airborne like that?
You know, it's not too bad. I mean, just like riding a roller coaster. You know, that just wait till the end. It's a lot less fun, and it hurts. But you know, it's just part of the deal when you race. You know, 60, 70 times a year. You know, you're bound to. There's bound to have some stuff happen, especially with an 18-inch right rear tire and 900 horsepower. You know, 1,200-pound car. You know, they're pretty violent.
It's not going up it hurts, it's what's coming down.
Yeah, the going up is the problem is when it gets real quiet when it's going up, you know it's going to really hurt coming down.
Now, whereabouts do you race a lot at?
We run a lot at like Lawrenceburg Speedway here in Indiana. You know, we run Kokomo, Terre Haute, Bloomington, Gas City. It's all based. A lot of it's local here in Indiana, within 2 hours of Indianapolis. But then we travel and we go to Ocala. You know, around the time of Daytona, we go to Pennsylvania for 5 nights. Nebraska, Wisconsin. There's actually a California swing. So you kind of travel all the way around. You get to do a lot of racing in a lot of different states, and it's you know, it's exciting to get to go to new tracks and meet new fans and you know, race with different series, all that kind of good stuff.
You just want to get your feet good and wet in this type of racing, and then jump into that NASCAR series.
Yeah, I really like to see Wheel Modified.
Yeah,
I mean, I love the modifieds, and I think that the Wheel and Modifieds. Actually, I was looking at a page yesterday, and I thought, man, those would be really fun to run. You know, get to run one of those with the, you know, when I ran the Super Modifieds, the left rear tire was the same as the right front tire, and you know, so that's a lot of grip. And the left front tire was, you know, like a midget right rear tire. You know, it was just really, there's just a lot of tires, a lot of grip, and horsepower. So I think that you know, that might be something that'll be fun to do. But I think that, you know, there's kind of a couple of different paths you can take. I mean, you can still, there's guys I'm racing against, you know, quite a few of them that make a living doing non-wing racing, and then there's obviously guys that go on the Outlaw Tour that make a healthy living. You know, Donnie Schatz is doing very well for himself, obviously.
Yeah.
And, you know, and other guys. So I don't think it necessarily has to be a NASCAR route. I mean, IndyCar is obviously an opportunity as well, and there's sports cars and you know, just a variety of things. So you just race as hard as you can, and hopefully you get an opportunity.
And which do you like better? Do you like asphalt or dirt better?
I always tell people I just like where I'm running better. You know. I mean, I do a lot of dirt racing, and I've taken a liking to it. I originally grew up on the pavement, and the dirt was kind of foreign to me. But over the years, you know, when you run 50, 60 races a year on the dirt, you get more and more comfortable with it, as you can imagine. So I think that yeah, I really enjoy the dirt racing. I enjoy the changing track, the conditions, the cars. But that's not to say I'm biased against pavement. I'll still run pavement whenever I get a chance.
Well, that's I don't blame you, and you know, you kind of get to the point where that you know, you get, you know, into NASCAR. And matter of fact, I met your daddy when I was working for Morgan McClure. I was you need to see me and your daddy up beside each other. It was like Goliath, and I don't know what you'd call him. He, you know, he's a little feller anyway, you know, and
Johnny and the Goliath.
yeah, there you go. I look like Goliath, and he looks like
Johnny.
I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, I love talking to him, and me and him made friends, you know, right off the bat. And, you know, I was in his hauler, and we was talking, and I don't know, he was just, you know, right down great guy.
Yeah, he's very down to earth.
Now, that track, PPIR, that's Pikes Peak International. Boy, that's a nice track, ain't it?
Yeah, it is a really nice facility.
Did you have you had any success there?
We ran there. We had some motor issues when we ran there a couple of years ago. We had a mag go bad, and so we were misfiring, you know, in hot laps of qualifying, and during the race we couldn't get it to run. So every time they stopped, the motor would die. Every time it was a yellow, the motor would die, and we'd go a lap down. I really liked the track. I thought it was a lot of fun. I wish we could go back out there. And then I also went out to Pikes Peak a couple of years prior to that, and my dad was the Grand Marshal there for the Pikes Peak hill climb. So we got to go up the hill and down the hill, and it was that was pretty neat to see. Just pretty crazy. They used to run Silver Crown cars up that back in the 60s.
Yeah. Well, Jared, I had something else on my mind, and it skipped. I'm getting old now, and I can't remember exactly what I was going to say here, but...
It's really that stuff you're drinking.
No.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's that. Do you, now, naturally, if you had the chance to go into the Camping World Truck Series, you'd do it. That's everybody's dream, is getting into the NASCAR part of it, and that's the first step, saying it right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you see a lot of open wheel guys that necessarily don't want to go into NASCAR. I mean, I don't think that's the only opportunity. I think that, obviously the Indy 500 is a huge draw for me as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think that NASCAR is the only game in town, in the sense that that's the only opportunity that guys have. That's the only place that guys can go. I think there's upper echelons of motorsports. You can do dirt late model racing, do other stuff. So everybody's different on what they want to do. So I think that NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, I think they provide it's a great stepping stone. And I think it's a lot of cool tracks. I mean, they run Eldora, which is, a place we get to run. They run Gateway, which I really like.
Yeah.
It's a great track. So I think that their schedule, they're short to mediate tracks, and then they even run, Daytona and Talladega. It's just a nice schedule that a driver that can go from a short track to a dirt to a super speedway. They got to be going on everything to kind of be successful in that series.
Now, Jared, on dirt track, how fast do you think you're running?
I think somewhere like Eldora, that's high banked, in a half mile, you can probably get up to 120 with a non-wing car. 100, between 100 and 120. You never know for sure. I mean, I don't know if anybody's had a speed gun, but I mean, you get going pretty fast around there.
Whew. That's fast in one of them sprint cars, ain't it?
Yeah, it's fast. Yeah, it's a place you can feel it. I mean, there's other places like Terre Haute that's a bit, it's a bigger half mile, and but it's real flat, so you don't really carry the same speed. But those are about the half mile is about as big as they run the sprint cars on. They used to run them on the miles, but they were deemed too dangerous, I guess, and so they kind of toned them back. But half miles get pretty quick.
Since you come from a racing family, who would you go for advice, Mario, Michael, or John?
I think obviously
all of them.
Your dad's always your first. Yeah, I mean your dad's the first. For me, is the first person I talk to. I think from when I'm at, he's the most recent in our family that's done that. Michael never raced sprint cars, and Mario raced them in the 60s and 70s. So Dad, he ran, and he's also run a variety of stuff that kind of more. I would kind of have a background more similar to his than I do Michael and Mario's. They did a lot of single-seater stuff, and Dad did some single-seater stuff, a couple years in IndyCar, but a lot of it was NASCAR-based. He did some drag racing. He did a lot of midgets, sprint cars, Silver Crown cars. So we, he's someone that's closely, he's been to the tracks, he's been to the places, he's gone through it all, like I'm doing right now. So he's probably the best person for advice.
Well, sure it is. I actually seen Mario, I think, at a Jeff Gordon race. He was rooting for Jeff Gordon. I think.
I think at Homestead, yeah.
How about Adam Andretti? I seen where it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had dinner with him. Let me think here. 2 nights ago, we had a birthday party for my cousin, and he was there, and he was finished. I think it was second in the Trans Am TA2 championship this year, and he's run some sprint car stuff, and so he's doing very well. And he's
Indy Pro Series.
Yep, in the SCCA, yep.
Wow.
And so he's doing well, and I think the team's gonna move up, do some TA1 stuff, I believe, next year, and do some TA2 stuff as well. And so I think that I'm looking forward to seeing how he runs, and the Trans Am series seems to be really coming along. Lots of good support.
Yeah.
And good tracks, good schedule, cool cars.
And then, how about another family member, Aldo?
Yeah, Aldo's my grandfather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ran a lot of sprint cars, and he's actually Mario's twin brother, and he had an accident back in 1969 that they had to reconfigure some of his face because he got into the catch fencing and it tore part of his face off. So now they
Oh my goodness!
But he looks he's still good. He still goes to a lot of sprint car races. He's walking around healthy, and I think that always look forward to seeing him at the races and getting to see him. He gets excited when we run good, and then he's always there to help you. Not get too down on yourself when you don't run good.
Yeah, we've talked about Mario and Michael, but how about Jeff Andretti?
I don't know what Jeff. I think he's doing a lot of driver coaching now. He's got his own. He's got his own business, and he coaches people from single seaters to stock cars to just a variety of things. He's raced a lot of different things as well. From sports cars to Indy cars to actually won a USAC championship. So I think that he can be somebody that's helping bring young drivers along and kind of get their feet wet in motorsports. Somebody that maybe doesn't have the same benefits that I do. Having a father that's been involved in the sport. So
John was good at all of it. I thought he was good when he was in NASCAR.
Yeah, he was good. Yep.
And he even talked like John.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Hey, I mean, you do. You and John sound alike.
Sounds a lot like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, Jared. Sound just like him. But that's good.
I appreciate that.
That is good.
What do you think about the IndyCar's return to Phoenix? Do you think that's a good idea? Or
I mean, I love the Indy cars on the ovals. I mean, that's the race that I'll tune on before. If you have Indy cars on a short oval, a mile or less, you can guarantee I'll be watching if I'm not racing. So
yeah, it'll be a good race.
Absolutely. I think they do more ovals like that. I think Milwaukee's a great place. New Hampshire, go back to those places along with the Iowas, the Poconos, the Indianapolises. Obviously all Texas. I think California is a great race. Las Vegas is a great racetrack as well. Chicago, they race. Kentucky. I mean,
Nashville.
The schedule. Yeah, Nashville. I mean, the list can go on and on. I think that they should get back to that more than cut the street circuit schedule and road course schedule and increase the oval schedule. At least being an oval racer and being a fan too at the same time. That's what I want to see.
I have a feeling now, Jared, that we'll see you in IndyCar one of these days.
Oh, I certainly hope that some car owners have that feeling as well.
Yeah, I just have that feeling because I think that's what you're wanting to do in the end.
I think, I have a lot of different goals. I think that I like to do a little bit of everything. I don't want to, be on my deathbed and be wishing that I would have raced here, raced there, but didn't do it because of some one reason or another. Not getting the opportunity is one thing, but not doing something because you're too committed here or something like that. I think that is I want to be able to race the Le Mans. I want to be able to race at the 24 Hours of Daytona again. I want to be able to do the 500 and both of them. And be able to do, even some drag racing stuff. Who knows, maybe some rallying. I just think that to get to race, just a wide variety of disciplines. I think that's what makes a complete driver, makes a great driver more than the amount of wins or amount of championships in a single series. I think versatility is key.
That's what Robbie Gordon did, was in NASCAR, and he was in IndyCar, and then he went to Baja Trucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
but he used to be a good IndyCar racer.
Yeah, he ran good in NASCAR too, and he's got that Stadium Truck Series that is doing well. And I think I wouldn't be opposed to doing Baja. I mean that's not something that me and Dad, either of us, have shunned or anything. I mean, I think who knows? Maybe you'll see us competing against each other. Maybe I'll even be a co-driver. I doubt it. I can't read a map that well, but maybe I can. We can do something.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this or not, but I heard something about Ray Abraham and somebody as his partner was going to run a vehicle out in California. It's the fastest one ever. I can't remember. Did you ever hear anything about that? They were going to go.
I haven't.
They were going to go test it, Jared, out there.
Probably the Bonneville Salt Flats.
I think so.
Yeah. I think that that'd be interesting to see what it is. To be honest with you, I don't get to watch much TV. You spend a lot of time at the shop, and then when I do get to watch TV, it's usually football.
Yeah.
And, or something back home. My mom has a lot of good TV shows she likes to watch, and I sit down and watch those with her.
To go football, is it Indianapolis Colts for you?
No, it's Carolina Panthers, and
oh man, they're hot.
I want to tell you, I've been a fan since the Chris Winkie days, since when they were 1-16, and
I think they're undefeated, ain't
17. Yeah, and it's just I didn't just hop on the bandwagon this year like some of the fans. So, but they're fun to watch this year, and I'm glad to see all the hard work's paying off.
Yeah, I mean Cam Newton is something else, ain't he?
He's not somebody I would want to tackle.
No, done a real good job with it.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, Jared, all I can say is it's been nice talking to you, and I just believe one of these days that you'll either be in the Indy or I hope you go to Xfinity or even Sprint Cup.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
It's a real honor to talk to an Andretti. I've never spoke to an Andretti before, and I think it's really neat.
Jared Christian's a rider here for NASCAR.
Yes, I ride for NASCAR. Like I said,
but he can ride for anybody, can't
I
you?
ride for anybody. I mean, if do you have a Twitter?
I do, yeah, Jared Andretti. Yep.
Yeah, I'll follow you on Twitter, and we'll talk to each other, and maybe I'll do a post about you.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, he's kind of like a driver, We'll write for money, we'll race for money.
Yeah.
And Jared's also on LinkedIn.
You're LinkedIn?
Yeah.
All right, I'll look at. You're with him, right?
Yeah,
right,
I'm on it.
I'll look on Eddie's. Find you.
Yeah, that's how I get a lot of my people is LinkedIn. It's a good deal. That's how I got Jared a long time ago.
You.
Yeah. That's how we do it. Hey, Jared, it's been a pleasure having you on here, and I promise it'll be quicker than a year this next time I holler at you.
I appreciate that.
We'll get you back on here because you're a lot of fun, and I'm hoping your 2016 season comes with wins.
I hope so, too. I appreciate that.
All right.
Yep. And appreciate you, Jared, and I know your dad wouldn't remember me, but tell him I said hello anyway.
Well, I will.
And nice talking to you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Boys room.
Jared Andretti.
Well, that's been...
Now, that Andretti bunch they're super hot,
been
man.
15 years ago.
Oh, they're hot now, I'm telling you. Go ahead, caller. You're live on the Whoop.
Hey, guys, Daniel Norwood, your pal from Sirius XM.
Yeah, doing good, Daniel. How about you?
Well, I'm good. I've made the mistake of the year. I just drove past the radio station, and I didn't stop in to say hello. But I was flipping through the channels, and I went, oh, my goodness, is it Tuesday? And I just figured I'd at least pick up the phone and call you and say howdy.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah. How you doing, Daniel?
Well, I'm well, thank you.
Did you have a chance to listen to us talk to Jerry Andretti? That's John Andretti's son.
Well, once again, every time I flip on, you guys have got the big names, the big stars. This is what's happening, and I'm excited to hear it for you.
Yeah, well, we trying our best here. It keeps us going, keeps me going, trying to line up stuff, but we're hanging in there.
Well, I thought I heard Bullet in there, and
yeah, Bullet is in the house here. I've got a rider, rides for NASCAR in here, Christian Coley.
Wonderful. Well, he's in with a good group. Big G and Fast Eddie and Bullet, of course. He's just as much a part of the show as anybody. It's
oh yeah.
It's just it's fun to hear you guys, and like I said, just happened to be passing through Cleveland, and I flipped on, and I went, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday, and I didn't go by and say hello, so I thought I'd call you and say hello.
How long are you going to be in town, Daniel?
Not long. We had a surprise party for my grandmother today. She turns 80 on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
We came through. I came in just to be here for the surprise party tonight, and then be here for a little bit of the day tomorrow, and I head back out on Thursday.
Well, we would have loved to have you and your grandfather here tonight. We would have liked to have that.
Well, we appreciate that. You guys always make us feel welcome, but I just the year was winding down, and the NASCAR season was over, and I hadn't talked to you, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to call real quick, and I'm sure you've got the things lined up. I don't want to derail you, but just wanted you to know we're thinking about you, and appreciate all that you guys do, not only for the NASCAR community, but for me personally. You guys have become great friends, and this channel, this station is so great, to more than just this community. I mean, it reaches far beyond Cleveland, and we're just proud to know you.
Well, I appreciate that, Daniel. You're one of the best in my book. I've told people that, and we all think the world of you, Daniel. And I know my buddy Bullet here. Say hello to Daniel Norwood here.
Hello,
Bullet.
Daniel. How's it going, man?
I'm good, pal. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I just can't get over winning that award after Bill, and it was something I'm gonna cherish the rest of my life.
Well, he was proud of the association, and thrilled that not only was it somebody that he knew, but it was somebody that was as deserving as you. And we talk about you and our family. And
I appreciate it. And I think it's got me some caps over I'm going to pick up.
I tell you, I brought them. I did. I'm kind of falling off. I snuck by here a couple of weeks ago as well and didn't check in. I'm going to get kicked out of the WOOP family at some point if I don't do a better job of letting you know. But I did. I dropped off a handful of Sirius XM caps for you, and hopefully you can put them to good use. He said the one that you were wearing last time he saw you was just about wore out.
Yeah, it is. But no, it's not. But I'm gonna try to get Big G. Probably go by there and give them and bring them to me, and I'll give some to Fast Eddie and Big G both.
Big G who?
Big G's you, ain't it?
No, I don't know Big G.
Brother.
Say when they want, hey Daniel, when they want something done, they always call me.
Yeah, right.
Well,
the other time they don't know who you are, right?
Yeah, and the rest of the time they don't know who I am.
Reason we do that because I know he'll get it done.
Right.
G is G, ain't he? Yep.
That's the guy.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, I listen to Sirius XM Radio, the NASCAR station, all the time. It's a wonderful show. You've got a super host there and a super station. How's that? I mean, it's the best.
We're having a good time doing it, and you must be doing something right if you've got folks from NASCAR in there writing articles and palling around with them. So keep doing what you're doing, and we'll get it covered from all angles, I guess, won't we?
Yeah,
we're trying.
Yep,
we're trying, Daniel.
Yeah, I talked to you, Grandpa, and he said you wasn't feeling too good, and I figured that's why you didn't email me back a few weeks ago. Well, it's been more than a few weeks ago, about a month or so ago. And
well, it could be that I didn't see it because I'm usually pretty good to write back. So I apologize if I owe you one. I'll have to go see what happened.
Don't worry about it. Well, I'll get you after the first of the year.
We'll get you at the first year. How's that?
You guys know how to. You got the private number. You use it anytime you need it.
I got you there, buddy. And I usually just like to try to email you instead of text messaging you because I don't never know if you're driving or what. And if I don't hear from you within a few hours or whatever, I know you're on the road or something. You'll get back to me before long.
Usually get me faster on email, but you can try anything that works, and be happy to do anything I can to help you.
Well, we appreciate you, Daniel.
We really do, Daniel. We thank you very much, buddy.
It's awesome to meet you, Daniel.
Have a blessed holiday, and I appreciate you letting me drop in and interrupt things here. I would love to have come by and said hello in person, but hopefully our paths will cross again real soon.
Yeah, and you remember what I told you. You have an open mic anytime here.
Well, you're very kind. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great one. Bye now.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Mr. Daniel Norwood, head producer for Sirius XM Radio NASCAR.
He actually gave me his cap in person. He was here one time.
He's great.
Yeah,
we got his Micah Ferreira.
Yeah, he's coming. He's. I told him I'd text him. And I just now text him. He said he'd be calling in here in a few minutes.
Mike is a good one too, Betty. I tell you why. He drives the 03.
Yep. I was reading that
in Camping World, and I think in Xfinity.
Yep,
in
raced,
Xfinity.
I think think a couple races.
70, number car 70 or something like
For
that.
Derek
wasn't it?
Cope, I think.
Yeah.
And I know he raced a couple times in Arcos.
You know, I've had Derek Cope on the show before, and I'd like to get him back somehow. He's hard to find, but I'd like to get him.
I just met him like 2 years ago, like for the first time ever.
Derek Cope's a good one. But until the show, Whoop on Wheels, sponsored by L&B Appliance Sales. Jason Taylor is the owner over there. It's the one with the dark hair, if you ever want to see him. 339-3231. They got great prices, and watch that light for me there. And on Top Brands, and they have refrigerators, cook stoves, ovens, ranges, washers, dryers, and they got all the good brands like Maytag, Amana, Electrolux, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and the list goes on and on. They don't do nothing but sell the top brand merchandise there. L&B Appliance, 160 Durkee Road, Northeast, right by your aunt's house, girl.
Your aunt's
Jig.
house.
339-3231.
Don't be throwing her off on me.
Oh, come on now. She's sweet.
I'm telling you.
She's sweet.
You know, Fast Eddie, I used to make Maytag stoves.
Yeah. Carmen Wilson.
60 Miles Creek Road. Go get your old haircut there, Edo.
We're going to get the ears.
Well, you see, I got my hair down to my back now, so I don't want to get all that cut off now, so I kind of
Gonna be like Kyle Petty?
Yeah, I'm going to be like Kyle Petty. I'm going to put it in a ponytail. And anyway, walk-ins are welcome. 60 Miles Creek Road, phone number 476-5722. Ask for Carmen when you call, and she'll make an appointment, or somebody will make an appointment with you, with Carmen, and it don't take long. She'll get to you.
Well, my ears are on fire.
Somebody's talking about you again.
Give me that phone. I'll just call
He's
him.
hollering that Ric Flair stuff that made my head hurt. Woo! Ric Flair.
He does it better than I can do it.
Well, he's been in wrestling. He knows all the stars there. He knows the superstar. He knows Bill Dundee.
Yeah. I've actually got an autographed picture of the superstar.
You do?
Yeah. And Tommy Rich.
He does too.
He don't want one of Tommy Rich.
He knows
Fargo's.
He knows all the stars and he knows about the cars.
You got that right. We got Mike Frero. Fixing to have him on here.
It's good to talk to Daniel.
Let's go meet him.
Yeah, he was in the studio here some months ago, and he gave me and Fast Eddie Big G a cap, and I've still got mine.
I want you to give me another if you get him.
Well, I'm on Big G. I want you to tell me before his phone number, and I'll go get him personally. I can go to America.
I don't. I got Bill's number. If you want it.
Yeah.
Write it
He's
down
all
here.
right. We're going to straighten him out here in a minute.
We are?
Yeah, there you go. All right, we're going to put you on, Mike. No.
You can do it later, Fast Eddie.
I can't find it.
Big G give it to me.
Here, write that down. Get you a piece of paper and write it down. All right,
well,
let's
what's
see
on
here. Hey, Mike.
How you doing today?
Doing good, Mike. How about you? You got Fast Eddie, Big G, Bullet, and Christian in here.
Hello, Mike.
We're loaded.
Hello.
Man, these guys full house today, huh?
Full house.
Y'all decorating?
Do what now?
Y'all decorating? Getting ready for the holidays?
Oh, yes. I've got 2 deers outside and lights around the window, beautiful tree up. You name it. These 2 deers, they just got one that turns his head all the time, round and round like that, and the little one just sits there.
That one turns your head round Eddie.
Great. Always a joker in the house, ain't they, Mike?
And you know the one that got that little bobblehead up and down, Mike?
Yes, sir.
That's him, too.
Hey, Mike, I need something from you, man.
Oh, what you need?
You need to send me a little care package to the house.
Oh, Lord.
I need some stuff.
Make sure you message me your address over there, and I'll get you out one.
I'll do it. I'll message you. Yeah, I need your email. Where can I find that at? Is that?
I give it to you. You got a pen?
Yeah. Do you want me to take it off air or?
Actually, you can just go on Facebook, on my Facebook, and message me on there and just send it to me.
I'll do it.
He messages back pretty quick.
I'll do it, Mike. I'll do that private message thing in there. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm probably one of the few guys that interact with my fans all the time on, Facebook and phone calls. And actually, I just did a real cool thing, which I'm going to let the cat out of the bag today. A couple days ago, I wrote up on my racing page, what would you do, or how would you feel if I just showed up at your house?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, I was like...
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 5 people out of that list that responded, and I'm going to show up at their house and bring them some racing stuff.
Oh. Yeah, there's one that said he wanted to have a beer and something else with you or something.
Yeah, I seen that one. I ain't going by his house.
No, I wouldn't either.
That'd be the next Criminal Minds episode.
Yeah, but I seen that, Mike, and laughed.
But I'm going to pick 5 people out of that list, and me and my crew chief, we're going to hit the road right after Christmas, and we're going to stop at 5 of them people's house.
Maybe Big G needs to fill in there, so you can come up there.
Put down
right?
the radio.
You want me to fill you up?
Maybe he don't want you there. Do what now?
I said if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be doing what we do,
That's right.
Agree with that.
So, we got a lot going on for next year, let me tell you. We sold all, well, I don't know if you guys know, but at the end of the year last year, we got stung pretty good with a bad check from somebody and sent our racing budget out the window.
Wow. Yeah.
We sold everything and decided last year at the middle of the year we're going to rebuild with all new equipment. So we got brand new trucks to come out for 2016. We're on a motor program. We're going to be running RO7s. So we should be looking pretty good for next year.
Now, Mike, will you be driving or are you going to hire a driver?
Well, what we're doing, we got a lot of people, renting the trucks for us. We're starting to fill the schedule. So we got a lot of funded drivers that we're talking to that want to come on board. Meeting with a couple more people next week, right before the holiday, coming down to the shop and looking at our equipment and what we got to offer. So it's going to be the old guy here for a few races, and then we're going to put some really young, talented people in the truck for next year.
Yeah, that's the thing to do. Rent them out like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it just keeps the doors open, and Kyle Busch, which is, Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch. Congratulations to him, and that's what he does. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He keeps your program moving forward. It allows you to buy more equipment, better equipment, and so, we've been really fortunate. I think if that Jake Griffin would have qualified for the Eldora race, I think we had a chance of winning that race. He was 8th fastest in first and second practice, and we're outrunning Ty Dillon, outrunning Austin, and so a lot of good talent going to be in our trucks.
Now, Mike, I'm going to ask you a question, and you can tell me you'll plead the 5th, or you don't, or you can either. In other words, what I'm saying is you can either talk about it or not. But I'm going to ask you this question.
All right, before you answer,
I think you know what I'm going to ask. Go ahead.
I'm just going to tell you how I am. Anything you want to know, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't hide nothing, and that's, I think, why we got the fan base that we have, because we're open with everybody. We tell people just the way it is, how it's going on, and what we're doing. So go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, the question is, why? What happened to Johanna Long? Because I thought that was a perfect deal with you. I thought.
Oh, no. Actually, I thought that was a big deal for us also. And it comes down to a nutshell is we're too small of a team for her. She did one race with us for Richmond, and it wasn't what she was looking for. And she, asked me, just straight out, say, hey, I'd like to go a different direction. Because she was under contract with me. I could have forced her to stay. But I'm like, well, if you're not happy here and you want to leave, I understand. So that's what she chose to do.
Wow.
It hurt me financially because I put a lot of eggs in that basket. I really wanted to give her the best that I could give her.
Yeah.
You know, let it grow. But I don't know at the time that she, you know, I don't know. I can only tell you my side. So I don't know if she had somebody else that maybe a bigger team that she was looking to go to that maybe that deal fell apart. I don't know. But that was in the nutshell. We're just too small for her, and I think, you know, she's looking for an RCR kind of a deal, somebody, you know, a Hendricks kind of a deal.
But it didn't happen.
No, she don't want to start at the bottom and grow.
So, in a sense, she let it all go and had a chance to be with you.
Yes, absolutely.
That don't make sense. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing, I guess.
Well,
you know what I mean, Mike.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, I felt the same way. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to badmouth her because she's a hell of a driver.
Yeah.
A lot of talent. And and believe it or not, my program coming into this, I mean, this year here is only my second year in the NASCAR, so I'm still learning a lot. And she opened up my eyes, and she taught me a lot, and she had a lot of connections that, you know, that could allow us to get better, faster. But, yeah, she just, you know, the first race, you know, we missed the setup on the car at Richmond. It wasn't her fault. It was definitely our fault. It's the first time we even played with an Xfinity car.
Yeah.
You know, we just missed the setup. And I told her, so, you know, hey, I'll hire somebody else that you want to deal with. And, I mean, she was real cordial, very, very nice lady. And, you know, just, I'd like to go a different way, so I understand. So I let her out of her contract and let her go. I mean, I know I take a lot of heat from the fans because they think that I did something to get rid of her, and that's not the case.
Well, at least you've said it on the air here, which we stream all over the U.S., so they'll understand
and many
it.
of my readers are reading it, so.
Yeah, you know Christian, don't you, here?
Yeah, we talked a couple times on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, he does a lot of writing. I'll let you talk with him just a second.
So, what do you look? Can we hear any drivers' names yet, or?
I am talking with Jake Griffin. I'm doing some stuff, you know, but he's not cleared to do the big tracks, you know, and his dad's not sure.
Yeah.
What exactly they're, you know, and this all comes down to sponsorship.
Yeah.
Dollars, you know, what they're going to have lined up or what they're not going to have. We're talking to a couple other guys that I can't mention, but I mean, Tim Baines is another guy that, you know, wants to come on and do some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to the ARCA test. We're going to have a car at the ARCA test, and we're going to, you know, we're renting out the seats for that if some people want to come make some laps at Daytona and try and get their license for that. So we're going to back out of the Xfinity for next year a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're going to concentrate on doing the ARCA side and real heavily in the trucks. I plan on running the whole season in the truck series.
The trucks are looking very promising next year because I know Kyle Busch is not returning to his ride. He won't drive the Cup car. He won't drive his truck anymore. And then, you know, Brad's got two drivers already in their truck, so I don't think he's going to be back with his team either.
Well,
so I think there's going to be a lot more opportunity for the truck regulars to come in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, Daniel Hemrick's getting a really good shot with Brad Keselowski Racing.
There's so many good drivers out there, like we talked about this before.
Yeah.
That could really shine. But when you get the factory-sponsored trucks to come into our game, I mean, we don't have that same equipment. None of the teams do. I mean, you look at Norm Benning or you look at Jennifer Joe. Jennifer Joe's a really good driver.
Yes.
And, you know, I ain't going to put myself in that category because I'm not here to boost myself. But, you know, you look at other drivers and it's like, you're not competing with that.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's not even apples to apples. It's apples to, hell, it's grapefruit, watermelon to grapes.
Yeah. Well, I know next season I'm really excited to see the Cup regulars. It really looks like the Cup regulars are basing themselves out of the Truck Series. I'm really looking forward to next season with less Cup regulars. I mean, I know Austin Dillon's ride at GMS is gone because it's going to be with a Grant Enfinger next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like I said, I think more fans are going to tune in with less Cup drivers because I think people are getting really tired of Kyle Busch coming in there and dominating. I mean, yeah, he's a good driver, but I mean, we talk about the funding with the factory name and the lower teams.
Well, I mean, it just goes so deep, you know, from the factory support to, and then the trucks are supposed to be the entry level.
Yeah.
You're able to move up. And when you get there, and then you're trying to race against Brad Keselowski in his 2 trucks, and you're trying to bring, sometimes, Kyle Busch has got 3, 4 trucks there.
Yeah.
And then, what I'd like to see NASCAR do is I'd like to see them up the field back to 40, 36 or 40 trucks.
Yes, I agree.
And, I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, but I don't know if you guys know about the meeting tomorrow at NASCAR, what they're talking about.
They're talking. Are they really going to develop this new chase format?
No, I shouldn't say nothing because I don't want to get in trouble. But they got something coming in tomorrow that's going to be in under the hood program, if you know what I mean.
So you're telling me I got some news I'm going to need to report tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks for telling me that now.
So there's some stuff coming, that I hope finds its way into the rule book. Everybody's going to be in Concord tomorrow at the R&D center, and
yeah.
So we got some stuff coming. I hope it takes.
Now,
and I'm on an engine program for next year. We worked our butt off to get it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that they implement what they're talking about.
Now, do you think a chase format in that series would be smart, or?
Well, I don't want to step on NASCAR's toes, but I think the chase format is stupid. I think you race for points. If you're the end of the guy with the highest points, that's who should be the.
Yeah. That's the problem with Joey Logano this year. Joey Logano, we'll bring up Jimmy Johnson. Both had more than 5 wins. They weren't even in contention for the championship.
Yep.
That something with that needs to change. But it's a good idea. It certainly has gotten ratings up. A lot of people want to tune in and see who's going to get eliminated that weekend, like Talladega. That was a race that was the ultimate wild card. I think it turned out to be even more than it was.
I think if NASCAR, and this is just me, and I'm nobody, but I think if NASCAR really wants to put people in the stands on the Truck Series, they're moving in the right direction without having the Cup big shots come down there and take all the money and take everything away from the guys that are trying to shine.
Yeah.
I did an interview a couple weeks ago with somebody, and I told them the same thing. I said, hey, listen, if you go to this drive-in every weekend and you see the same movie, Home Alone, every weekend, why would you go?
It'd be kind of like Groundhog Day.
Yep, exactly. And that's sort of that's either going to be the Brad Keselowski show, or it's going to be, Kyle Busch. And I hate to throw Matt Crafton under the bus, but I'm gonna say it to him too.
It's time for Crafton to move up.
He needs to move up. Locally, if you won 2 championships, you had to move up.
Yeah.
And the guy's such a huge talent. But he's been to all these tracks so many times where he just, it is what it is.
It's like a walk in the park to him.
Yeah. I sort of get mad at, I take the sport because I love the sport. And I think when they do stupid things to the sport, it's like it kills because it's something that you love and they're sort of ruining it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing?
There's nothing wrong with the product now. Why change it?
Yeah, and I watch and they make a big deal out of Kyle Busch winning a truck race. And I'm like, are you kidding? Wake up. Kyle Busch don't win that race. You ought to go ask him why he didn't win it.
Well, it's kind of like when I've been talking with numerous people about my blog, and it's gotten to the point in the Truck Series where I could just go from the previous weekend, copy and paste.
Yeah.
You got the same ordeal.
They're just huge, they're huge talents. Brad Keselowski, when I used to help old man Goddard back in the day, I was a mechanic and tire changer for Bob Goddard Sr.
Yeah.
So, the Keselowski's been around forever.
Yes.
And Brad's just a talent. His dad was a talent. And, it's like, okay, why are you down here?
Yeah.
Kyle Busch, that speaks for itself. Okay, why are you down here? And I hate to say it, but I'll throw, Matt Crafton into that league too. Okay, why are you here?
Yeah.
You're not a beginner. And the guy's got huge talent. He's a hell of a race car driver.
And then if you don't have the new drivers coming up and winning, you're going to get to later parts in later years, and you ain't going to have any talent.
No.
We're going to run out of people to fill in cars. Chase Elliott got into the number 24 car next year, and I'm happy for him, but I don't think he's ready.
I don't follow him, to be honest with you, and I know that's bad. I don't like the chase format, so I really honestly don't watch the cut stuff too much, because to me, they're ruining the racing.
Yeah.
I think, what happens on the racetrack happens on the racetrack, and I know I'm going to take a lot of heat for this, but the deal with, suspensions, Matt, he shouldn't have been suspended. And that's a deal. That's a racing deal. It is what it is. Let the drivers figure it out. I don't think he should have been parked. I mean, it's just,
I agree with you, Mike.
We've been on the good side of that. I've been on the good side of that, and I've been on the bad side of it.
Yeah.
So, but you clear it in the racetrack. You pull them in the hall and say, hey, you're going to kill somebody. Watch what you're doing. You don't suspend the guy, especially a guy that's, running for a championship.
Well, with their new chase, it makes it feel like if you're on a chase driver, you should go ahead and park your car. You're not involved. They don't ever talk about anybody else but the chase drivers.
Well, even on my side, let's switch it back to the truck side. Okay?
Yeah.
They talk about Kyle Busch so much in KBM. They talk about BK Racing, that Brad, which they should. They talk about Matt Grant. But all of us smaller guys,
you never hear it.
You never hear about us. And it's like, it's hard for us to get sponsorship, or it's hard for us to get noticed because we're overshadowed.
And that's why with my blog, I'm trying to get your teams more attention, and I do it in all 3 series. I try to get more attention on you guys and maybe get you more sponsorship, because I want to see more people in NASCAR.
Yeah, another thing, if you want to throw it out there, like the Cup teams.
Yeah.
I don't believe they should own more than 2 cars each team.
Yeah.
It seems to me like they're going to the point where they want 7 super teams to field all these cars.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, it just kills the racing. If you look at, Rick Hendrick, God bless him, such a smart businessman, such a smart everything. But if you look at who's either running one of his cars, or who's affiliated with his cars, or who's got his motors, I bet you it's more than quarter the field.
Yep. Well, I know they said that the seats are made by Hendrick. So that means everybody has something Hendrick in their car.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just, there's no more teams anymore. It's just one big fun house.
Yeah, I like the grassroots racing. I like to go to a track. I talked to somebody today, I'm going to mention his name, about going to Daytona. He wanted to rent a ride for me, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, then they're going to have all these trucks in there. I'm like, yeah, so what? I go, we go to racetrack just like everybody else does. And you qualify in. If you don't, you put on your best game face and you go home. And that's the way I think it should be.
You don't let it bother you. You go on the next weekend and you go kick butt.
I don't, and again, this is me, but I'm an old school racer. If you're the top, if the truck starts 32, I think they should give the champion, like last year, Matt should be allowed 1 provisional for the year.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good idea.
And that's it. None of this top 25 in points get right. Baloney.
And the attempts thing is another thing that bothers me.
Yep. If you're fast enough to be there, then you should be in that race.
Yeah.
I've been on both sides of that stick again. I've been one of the slow trucks, but because I had more attempts, I got in the race.
Yep.
And then, at Daytona a few years back, I was like 32nd fastest, but by the time they handed out all their provisionals, I went home.
Yeah.
So, that's the things that I would tweak if I was them. The past champion definitely deserves a provisional.
Yeah.
And not for every race. You're allowed one a year or 2 a year, whatever way they want to do it. And hey, if you're running 32 trucks, then the top 31 should be on speed.
Yep.
If the one is, if the champion don't use it, then they fill the field by the top 32 trucks. You're sending a lot of people that are coming into the sport that don't have the knowledge, that don't have the setups, that don't have to get there, and they're sending these guys home. How are you going to learn?
Yeah, and then you end up having drivers in the field that I call field fillers, where they're in there just to fill the field they'll start and park. I don't have a problem with starting and park, but if there's teams that go home like Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, who have the speed, they show up, they miss the race because some teams just come in there to race around in circles for 5 hours and go as slow as possible.
Well, I was just going to say, what about the fillers? And we know what teams those are. And, they pull out their backup truck, and they just screw somebody else out of the field, and they park them after 3-4 laps to take the money.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go on and on about that, but until they do something about it, it's going to be the same game, and the guys that really want to race that are trying to learn the tracks and trying to learn. I mean, and, I've been told this to my face, from NASCAR, it's a national series. You need to be up to speed. I go, I understand. I go, but when we get to a racetrack, and they do go through tech pretty hard, for the new guys, and me included.
Yeah.
And, make sure everything's safety and stuff. And time we get on the track, it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been to some of these racetracks, and it's like, well, you can't expect me, a guy that's never been on this track my whole life, to be up to speed, and
we're the ones that have been here numerous times.
I mean, Bristol, Kyle Busch does my chassis stuff.
Yeah.
And I put a setup from Kyle Busch in my truck at Bristol, and I put it in the wall. And he looked and goes, oh, well, it works for me, doesn't work for you. I'm like, I get that, but, we were just so far off. We didn't make the race. People are like, well, ain't you mad or ain't you did? No. We did the best we could. I learned a whole bunch, and next time we go there, I'll make that show.
Yep.
I said, so, that's the things I think they should tweak on. I'd like to see the Cup cars. If the Cup team is going to Chicagoland, let's just say Jeff Gordon or Rick Hendricks are going to go test at Chicagoland.
Yeah.
It's so much money for a truck team to go to Chicagoland and test. It costs me $20,000 to go to Chicagoland and do a test. By the time I rent the track, I rent the tires, I rent everything. Well, I think what NASCAR should do is they should have an adoption. Okay, they got a Cup team, then they should assign a truck team to that Cup team. So when a truck team or a car team goes to test, they say, okay, listen, we're going to go here and test. If you want to use the track to test, you're more than welcome to come. But you get the track for this hour, that hour, or our lunch break or whatever, so we're not in their way. But at the same time, we could test there, learn the tracks at a fraction of the cost.
That'd be a pretty neat idea.
I got a lot of ideas like that, but, until somebody's
actually listens
to you, or, get the foot in the door kind of a thing, it's, we got to play by their rules.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, we appreciate you having you on here tonight. Now, I'm going to have to get you back quicker this time because you've got a lot that you can talk about. And we'll get you back in a couple of weeks.
No problem. I appreciate you letting me have the time, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll hopefully see y'all at Daytona.
All right, and I sent you a private message on Messenger, on Facebook.
I'll get y'all some stuff.
See you, buddy.
All right, see you, Mike.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, Mike, he's a good fella.
He is.
He is. He's low budget, but he's going to be all right. I know he is. He's going to be all right. I'm sure, ain't he, Big G? We hope.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
All right. No show next week. We're going to take off for Christmas, by George. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Early Merry Christmas. Bullet and whole gang, we won't be back for 2 weeks. The 29th will be our next show. We have nobody scheduled yet, but we will. Until the 29th. I'm Past Eddie Big G Bullet. Good night, everyone.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Check into cash. Need help paying for life's little emergencies? Get the cash you need today from your